Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Aftershow podcast, and it is a most special one, Mr. Shockblast. You know why?
Because you're here.
Did you take a stupid pill with your breakfast this morning?
I agree. I went with the Sadot praise first, and it was stupid. I agree.
Yeah, it was. Glad you learned your lesson.
Yeah.
So, of course, as we alluded to previously, we have been doing this stupid podcast for 100 episodes.
Yeah, and we don't even hate each other that much.
Mostly. we have managed to get through with a combination of perseverance and radical tolerance.
Yes.
We are here. We just wanted to take this day to, reflect. We're obviously going to talk about everything that happened this week, and boy, did a lot happen this week.
Yeah.
And also just shout out to everyone who's been watching the podcast every week. When it was on Fridays, now it's on Sundays. So we're going to have guests popping in and out, and of course, as a special thank you to all supporters out in the after show, holding it down with us backstage. We're gonna just give you the opportunity to come on, hang out a little bit, give your hot takes, just as a thank you for always tuning into the show every week, whenever you can, just to hear us talk about stupid shit.
Exactly. Yeah, man. Crazy week indeed. And it's only about to start getting fuller, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, we got our first guest in the building. We have the man, the myth, the feat himself, Mr. Celebration Ruler. One of our favorite Canadians, definitely in my top 5, I would say.
I know a lot of Canadians.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you now, good sir. How are you doing?
That.
I'm
well, let's. Oh, I can hear myself. Shit.
Doggy.
Okay, wait, I can't hear you guys. I was hearing you guys through the stream. Oh, it's such an amateur hour tonight.
As you see,
you have to forgive me. I wasn't ready for this. I just wanted to be first.
He is a professional broadcaster.
Not first or last.
If you couldn't tell.
Give me 1 second. Oh,
love to see it.
Hello.
We can
okay,
hear you.
perfect.
We're just laughing at you.
No, I need it because I literally wanted to be first on tonight, and I wanted to beat out Casual to his own show that he started. So, but yeah, thank you. Before I start circle jerking with you guys, I want to jerk myself. And just say, obviously, you guys did 100 episodes, or this is the 100th episode, and shout out to you guys because it's hard to do 100 episodes of something. It's hard to do 100 episodes talking with video games in today's day and age. So, there's 28 people here. There'll be more as the show goes on, but obviously shout out to you guys for creating a cool community that even if I come into this, it's very welcoming and whatnot. So, we can all start jerking each other off now, but just obviously shout out to you guys to, kind of build this and do your own thing. And it's been fun to watch and be a part of. And I'm excited to shit on Insomniac tonight.
I'm so glad we had such strict gatekeeping policies because
this is what we get for trusting anybody.
Jay was like, "Oh no, we want to be having a welcome and inclusive community." Yep, this is what happens.
Oh, sorry, I was just trying to obviously prep you guys for what's gonna happen when people come on tonight. So I just figured I'd be the first one, kind of put the frog into the pan a little bit and start turning it up. So
also, Tyler even has Jasper crying.
It's true. It is true.
Also perfectly fair. Insomniac Games, contrary to popular belief, is not above criticism. people have definitely expressed non-positive opinions about Insomniac over the years, and this one's no different. We're going to talk a lot about we're gonna talk about a lot of DLC. I guess we'll officially get into the topics for today. We're gonna obviously recap New York Comic Con because somebody on this panel was physically there in person, rubbing elbows and other parts of the male body in order to promote his career. And
let me just tell you, man. We'll get through what we're going to talk about. I'll tell you.
Yeah. Yep. Obviously, we're going to talk. We got to talk about the elephant in the room, the Spider-Man 2 DLC, as well as the PC announcement. We got some Marvel's Wolverine stuff to go over. Assuming JayShockblast did his assignment, we can talk about that amazing episode of Penguin, little Agatha All Along, and just generally recap what's going on with Comic-Con as we chatted up with the community. Thank you once again, everyone hanging out. I see the usual suspects. Capte, definitely got to get to Capte in here at some point. Travis, assuming he doesn't get us banned. I just have a feeling with Travis. But yeah, go ahead, Jay. You're going to share your story about the freak off you had at New York Comic
Con. Listen, it was a long day. I got up at 3 a.m. I drove down to New York City from the Boston area. I got there in record time. It was only a little over about 3.5 hours, including stops and whatever. And got to my hotel. They let me park there. Took an Uber in, and managed to get in.
What kind of Uber?
I don't know. It was. I don't even remember.
It was like
what
one
it
of those
was.
fancy kinds,
Jay,
super stretched.
Jay goes XL. He always
no. I do sometimes, but the XL was like $75. I'm like, this was already last second, so I had to already overpay for everything. But I got there, went right to the Funko booth, and the guy that his name is Jason Bischoff. He's the vice president of licensing for Funko.
Okay.
And he saw me as I saw him, and he was talking to somebody and just pointed at me and like kind of with a hold on kind of finger. And
he didn't give you the finger guns?
No. So that was one of the people I was looking forward to meeting. So he came over, he's like, hey, I have something for you. And gave me this right here, which is a Funko Fusion Eddie pin. Okay. And you can kind of see on the back, it's got some writing, and it says 1010 thanks you for your contributions to the global success of Funko Fusion. So this is an employee only pin that they gave out to all the employees when the game launched.
That's nice.
So
which includes Jay.
I mean, I'm not an employee, but
as far as we know,
I'm like, honestly,
a consultant,
But still, though, like, I'm so honored because, like, I don't have anything like this. You know what I mean? Where it was something that was only for employees, and it really meant a lot. Like, this guy is, big deal with Funko,
Yeah.
And then, like, literally a dream come true. Gave me this convention only Skeletor Funko Pop, limited 1,000 pieces. So now limited 999 for everybody else.
Boom.
But I wanted to buy that so bad, but like at a lot of these conventions, you have to like win a lottery to be able to buy from certain booths, and Funko is one of those. Otherwise, they would just have a line out the door forever. So because I bought my pass so late, didn't even have a chance to do that. And it
doesn't matter because you're JayShockblast.
So they gave that to me. And then I talked to Arthur Parsons, and honestly, the whole thing was great. Just got to sit there and talk shop, and a lot of great things got announced during the panel. They gave me a prime spot for the panel. Then I got a specific shout out during the panel, which is kind of cool. They were Jason was talking to Arthur about the 10 or the 3 things he had to have in Funko Fusion. And the first one was Masters of the Universe. And he's
Of
like,
course.
oh, I know at least one other person out there that's excited about that. Jay, where are you? Oh, and points to me. I'm like, damn, that's kind of cool. The other thing was Colonel Sanders, and then the third thing was Bob Ross. And then they showed Bob Ross, and he's in the game. They announced a bunch of stuff that actually they're like available now. So they added a Back to the Future 2 costume pack for free. Black Myth Wukong, very successful. So they added Sun Wukong into the game for free. And then the Bob Ross pack, which is actually really cool. That is a paid DLC, but one of the pop versions of Bob Ross was literally hand painted by one of the devs. And like Arthur was telling the story about it, and he's like, "Oh, can I have the reference material?" He goes, I painted it directly onto the model." And he goes, "Oh." So then he made him repaint it on an actual like art piece so that like they had the reference material as well. So kind of funny. That was the first thing I wanted to do, is make sure that's the reason I went, is when I heard they were going to do their panel, I had to go. And it worked out, because then like about a week before the show, I got an email, and the end of the email was from @pokemon.com. And do we want to bring in Casual, or?
Yeah, I was waiting for you to shut the fuck up.
All right, sorry. I'll finish. I'll finish after we bring in our.
Yeah.
I didn't see him.
Breaking news. Aftershow Nation, the man himself has taken a break. He's been on hiatus while recovering from his crippling deep dish addiction, and we are so happy to have him back. He was earlier on, wasn't sure if he'd be able to make it. He's been playing Marvel's Avengers for 24 hours straight, but he took some time away from doing the raid to bless us with his presence. This was the OG member of the show, the man, the myth, the Chicago style pizza, Casual Avenger.
Hopefully my audio and everything is good. I haven't actually been having, I don't know how long.
Surprisingly, you came through a lot more professionally than High Ruler did.
That's actually true. But are we really surprised?
Kind of, yeah. Casual used to be the one with the technical issues, but he came in completely flawless, and it was High Ruler who completely fucked everything up.
Well, I mean, Casual's had months to prepare for this, though, right? So
true. It's not like you're a professional content creator.
No, definitely not. I'm amateur at this point.
We sub him out for Jasper, man.
Can't argue
that. Wrote that out.
It's over for me, man.
Welcome back, Mr. Retired Avenger. It's been a long time, my friend. Happy to have you. It's been a little lonely on the panel without you. It's usually we're used to having 3. I have to look at Jay's stupid face every week, and it was nice being able to switch things up by looking down and seeing Casual Avenger coming through with his smooth voiced hot takes. So welcome back, my friend. Appreciate you taking the time.
Man, when I heard that the 100th episode was rolling around the corner, I'm like, wow, like time is literally flying. But
it is.
This is what I originally envisioned. Once you guys met, like this was a match made in heaven, essentially. So it's like just the fact that you guys have pushed forward, through all the ups and downs. You had great guests over the year. Right, it's has it been 1 year or 2 years at this
2
point?
years, over 2
years. Yeah.
2 years, wow.
You guys have been trucking through, like this is the stuff that's been getting me through like slow work days, and when they asked me to stay over and stuff. So it's like I would have liked to appear on more, but being with work, it's being so demanding it's hard to stay in the loop of what's current with, you know, game and news and things like that. So lately I can only keep up with what I actually am invested in. So it's like, I don't want to just be on the panel with nothing to contribute because I don't know what's going on. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
But you know, that's the beauty of Casual Avenger. We love just hearing your off the cuff takes on whatever the topic may be. So it's not like Jay is prepared all the time either.
You know, Casual kind of reminds me of like that main character in like the first season of a TV show that used to get the TV show off the ground and get funding, and then you know, at the end of it, he kind of like rides off into the sunset, and it's like, oh, maybe he'll return, maybe he doesn't, and then like he makes these like small appearances to kind of remind you that he still exists, and it's like, oh, okay.
So he's he's basically the Steve Carell, and this of The Office.
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah, I think that works.
We're just building up to my Jiraiya exit.
I don't get that one.
Yeah. Jay is definitely Dwight.
No way. I am Jim. I'm always Jim.
Just because you want to fuck Pam doesn't make you Jim.
I'm definitely Jim. You're Daryl.
You're definitely not Joe.
Anyway, I'll quickly finish up my my New York Comic Con. I got invited to like a Pokemon event, and so I got to go do that, rub elbows with all the Pokemon people. They knew who I was, which was crazy. I mean, obviously they invited me, so you would think they would know who I am.
I would hope so. Unless it was an accident.
And now I'm hoping to start doing more stuff with Pokemon. So need that Pokemon engagement. Appreciated that like literally everybody, especially here, engaged with that tweet. And then just got to do as much as I could around Comic-Con. I could not get to that Marvel panel that Sadot wanted me to get to because that building is massive, and I was literally on the complete opposite side of the building from where that was. And by the time I got there, the room would have already been full. It was actually in the same room the panel for Funko Fusion was. And what people I found out were doing is they were like going to the panel before and just not leaving. And that's how they were getting all the good seats. So yeah, there's no chance I would have been able to get in there.
Sounds like an excuse.
Well, I mean, I was wiped out at that point too, because I had not slept very much.
I saw one photo of that panel, that Marvel panel taken from an Insomniac employee, and it didn't even look like it was like in our room. It looked like in a typical room. It just looked like in an open area of the convention, just in this one section.
No, it said it was in room 409, which is the room the Funko panel was, which was like, I don't know, just a long room with like two projector screens and then a stage in the middle.
It was a very large room, but I saw it was like a little projector set up here. It was like two people with a mic in front of a screenshot of Spider-Man, and then I saw like a couple chairs in front of them with people sitting in there watching.
I'll tell you though, like New York Comic Con is awesome. All right, I've been to a lot of different conventions, and like PAX East, I love PAX East, but like I can do everything I need to do at PAX East in a day. Like even E3, I felt like I only needed to be there for one day. The time I was there. New York, I got like nothing done, you know. I went to I did the Funko stuff. I did get to go talk to David Nakayama, which I was very excited about.
Ooh.
I bought like 3 of his little blind boxes for pins. I got 2 Rogue pins.
Sugar.
And then I got a Jean Grey.
Oh, love that.
A little disappointed because I did not get because I got the 2 Rogues. It means I did not get Scarlet Witch or Storm. So I was hoping to get at least 3 different ones. I also got these. I brought this book and I had him sign it, but he also had this one.
Ooh.
And this one that were convention exclusives. So I got those signed, and you know, I got to chat with him and stuff, and you know, I've known him a few years. I interviewed him during Marvel's Avengers for the Black Panther DLC because
Yes.
he did the motion comic for them. So
Did you were you there? Did you watch the Batman Ninja trailer?
I had already seen it, but like it's not feudal Japan, so I don't care. You know,
Jake, quick question for you, if you don't mind. I think a lot of people, when Funko Fusion came out, were kind of worried about like the long-term legs of that game. Like, after kind of their panel and kind of talking with them, like, how do you feel like for the next like 6 months, a year? Like, is this a game that you see them kind of like sticking with, or is this something you think? Yeah, like, or are they going to pivot? Like, what's the kind of vibe that you got from them after kind of everything going on the weekend?
I think they're very excited with where things are. I think the game, they've made a lot of adjustments, a lot of quality of life stuff since the game came out, and I think it's definitely a lot better now than it was then. Because when it came out, it was basically a Soulsborne game. It was tough, and I think, you know, there was a time where I actually did a call with Arthur and 2 other creators, and we talked about like what we thought about it, and they made some changes. And I mean, they've got co-op coming out this week for 2 levels. And then they'll have more co-op coming out later. They've got The Office. They announced that. I don't know if that's going to... It sounds like it might just be Jim, Pam, Dwight, and Michael Scott. But it would be nice if it was a level. The one thing that they talked about, they showed a picture of the whole team. And the one thing that they talked about was a lot of them, it's their first ever game they've ever made. You know what I mean? And that's kind of crazy to think about, to think that there are like that many people working on a game like this, and it's their first game. And it's not a huge studio. It looked like there was maybe like 60 to 70 people. I think this is the type of game that they can pump out content for. I don't know that it's going to be all under Funko Fusion. I mean, I think we might get a second game and stuff like that. Ideally, they've always said, you know, hey, this is the package, you're getting everything with it.
Right.
So I don't see them doing a lot of paid DLC, but if the Bob Ross thing does really well, maybe they will.
Maybe they will. At the very least, more DLC than Spider-Man 2.
Well, I mean, and they seem like very excited, but like licensing is tough.
Yeah.
And you know, it sounds like for The Office, especially, like, I thought that would be a perfect fit for the game, because the game is kind of like sponsored by, you know, NBC Universal, and, you know, The Office is that, you know, NBC. And that's a lot of the franchises they went with. But the one thing that they did say that was kind of funny was like, they put out a video and they're like just showing people's desks and stuff to fill in some space. And like a lot of people saw like a Naruto pop and a Sonic pop, and everybody got excited and like, no, that's just their desk. You know, they're not like, that wasn't us like teasing anything.
That's what I was gonna ask, because I remember seeing that video and I was like, oh, like that's kind of exciting, but
yeah,
it sounds like no.
Allegedly, Jay can't tell us.
Yeah,
allegedly,
I could tell you I was not told anything that I'm aware of that I'm not like supposed to talk about.
Sure,
but I can say, you know, I think the Sun Wukong was interesting because, you know, all the pops are based off of a certain line, and that was based off the Asia line, you know, the Funko Pop Asia line. And it's interesting to think, because that's one of the most sold stories in the world, you know, Journey to the West. And I'm wondering if that's something that like the Asian market will pick up on, and, you know, maybe get them a little interested in stuff like that. But I mean, it did not get the best reviews out of the gate, and they acknowledged that it wasn't the best version of the game that they played, you know. So it would be nice to like see people give it a chance. You know, is it like reinventing the wheel? No, it's not. It's it's a third person shooter, and you're playing with a lot of different characters from stuff that, you know, you like. As far as, I actually want to say something about this. I agree Universal Monsters would be a good fit, and I do believe Universal Monsters will be in the game eventually. because there is a trailer that showed Universal Monsters, and I just think it had to get cut last second. I don't know for sure, but I do believe that is something that we'll see eventually.
And I mean, to add to that too, I don't know if this all plays together, but aren't they opening like a new Universal park in May that has like Universal Monsters and stuff too? So
yeah, I mean,
we love the term brand synergy here.
Yeah.
That's our favorite thing, right? So
yeah.
We're big on the synergy here. Yeah,
I just feel like Funko is such a huge brand, and I know that they've done the best that they can. I think they've done the best they can to promote it. I'm shocked Universal and NBC hasn't done a better job, because I remember I posted a video when I got to do a preview, and they actually asked me to take something down, or because they thought the video had too much in it before launch.
Jay breaking his NDA.
No, it wasn't that at all. They said I did nothing wrong, but it is what it is. Politics, I guess. So I was like, yeah, no problem.
The woke mob strikes again.
Yeah.
So. I got a question for you, Jay. I saw a post on Twitter saying that you were one of the few people who played the Spider-Man 2 DLC right before they canceled it. And you confirm or deny that?
I can confirm. And I decided that it was so peak that I did not want anybody else to ever have that experience, because quite frankly, they did not deserve it. And that is it. No DLC.
Yeah, Jay has made it very clear that he doesn't think Insomniac community, certain members deserve it, and he made that very clear at New York Comic Con. That's why, because people were wondering, this is weird. It's supposed to be a 30-minute panel, and was the only thing they showed Spider-Man PC. Turns out there was actually a demo of the Spider-Man 2 DLC, but after Jay sampled it, he told them, "Yep, it's too good. We gotta just cancel it. We can't let them have it." That's why photography was pretty much banned. People weren't allowed to take video or anything. So the only images and stuff that came out from that Marvel panel was just the Spider-Man PC, because JayShockblast vetoed everything.
Personally,
he vetoed everything.
That's why I came up with that cover story about being on the other side of the building. And needing to get over to the Pokemon event.
We didn't believe that for a second.
Yeah,
but
I got
needless. But obviously that was as exciting as it is for PC Master Race people that they're getting a legal version of the Spider-Man 2 PC. Obviously, certain members of that community have been playing Spider-Man on PC for the last 6 months, but the official version launches in January, and all pretty much everyone could talk about from the moment that blog hit was the comment about the DLC, and unsurprisingly, the reactions were not very positive, and a lot of disappointed people. There's for the last year, people in every stream pretty much, there was a game event. You had people in the chat saying Spider-Man DLC, Spider-Man 2 DLC, Spider-Man 2 DLC. It was just kind of a foregone conclusion that, regardless of what you think about Spider-Man 2, people were like, well, surely Sony likes money, so we're gonna get the DLC eventually. But Insomniac, raised a lot of eyebrows. The official statement they said was that they had no DLC planned, which definitely made some people sit up a little, because we know they did plan DLC. So it made a lot of people wonder what exactly was really going on behind the scenes, and why, if that was the actual case, which it's not, but if it was, why wait until right before the 1 year anniversary? So I like to get all the hot takes out the way. Let's hear it, Casual. What do you think as a Marvel's Avengers enjoyer? What do you think of Spider-Man 2 potentially not getting any DLC, and fans not finding out about it until the absolute last minute?
When I saw that news, like I kind of have two perspectives on it. So I got the gamer perspective, and then I have the, pragmatic, economical perspective. Like this company did suffer a major leak, and hacking, a couple months back that clearly sent waves throughout, the whole, organization. So that's definitely a thing, and I'm sure this is like a offshoot of some hard decisions that had to be made, in reaction to that. So their time crunch has probably changed. They got Wolverine as their most immediate release, I believe, or according to the leaks, the Venom game is in the pipeline, so we don't know what the future of that is. We saw a lot of what they have planned for like the next 10 years. So it's like, I'm pretty sure a lot of moving parts are changing. A lot of deadlines are changing. Things are being pulled off the table. We saw the the death of the multiplayer Spider-Man game before it ever became a thing. So it's like, we literally have no idea what's going on, but given the debug leaks, they had something planned story-wise, to continue beyond, the original campaign, but obviously that that went another route. Why it took a year to announce that, I don't know. I think that's odd. I think studios really need to get a little more transparent with, just basic decision making. Like if there's no DLC coming, or if you're shifting gears, just communicate that, especially if you see people constantly looking for it. It's like, I know, you get a lot of negative, grifters on Twitter and stuff like that, but it's like you also have a lot of just passionate fans who are looking for more content if they can get it, and just to let them know, like, hey, we don't have the time, we got other projects we're focusing on. So instead of the past 6 months having people, looking for a DLC that isn't coming, just, hey, it's not, we're not working on anything like that. We got some cool costumes, we got new game plus. Outside of that, we're moving on to other projects, just, so people know. I understand that you're not entitled to that information perspective, but at the same time, it's like, these are just, it's just a better way to deal with your fans, who are just there to support your studio and your projects and stuff like that. But
because Santa Monica nipped that in the bud right away, even though they were planning DLC. They just said, we obviously we're going to drop this DLC, but we wanted to be a surprise. So they said right off the bat, like within the first month, don't expect any DLC. This is, we felt like we put a lot into the game, so I wouldn't expect any. And all the more, reason to to have it drop out of the blue, because it was definitely a big surprise for all those fans when it came out, because they weren't expecting it. So that they had plenty of time to work on it, take their time. There was no pressure, and it was a hit for them. It was curious that Insomniac would choose that route, because from the moment they revealed the collector's edition of Spider-Man 2, that's when I saw like really the questions about DLC start coming up, because people are like, okay, well, wait a minute, the Spider-Man PS4 collector's edition had more content. It literally, the biggest thing being it came with 3 DLC, and when they saw that, they were like, okay, well, is Spider-Man 2 coming out with DLC at all? And instead of just answering that directly, all they said was that they answered the question about the New Game Plus eventually, saying it's coming later, but why just not say anything about the DLC either, especially since it's not like they ignored it. Like they actually would repeatedly answer questions about the DLC, but they would always say, we have no new updates to announce right now, we have nothing new to, like the same boilerplate thing. Like why even address that? why put yourself through that for nearly a year, just to say you never planned it, when we know you plan.
I wanted to address something from chat, but before Jay or Hyrule takes over, this is my last little tidbit. But Travis was asking, why do I feel like they should, have to explain stuff like that? It's not a sense of entitlement or anything like that. It's honestly just from the logic of, you have a social media presence, you're promoting stuff on there all the time. A simple, message or tweet, Instagram tweet, whatever your platform you're pushing on, because you have a presence on all social media platforms at this point. Just letting people know, hey, we have something coming for you. We don't have something coming for you. You get what I'm saying? Just to stave off a lot of the negativity that comes with an announcement like this that could have came at any point between now and last year. Just because you have a social media manager. Your social media manager is on Twitter all the time. They interact with photos. It's literally a simple thing that can be done, and that's something I felt like would have saved Marvel's Avengers a lot of headaches if they did that more with managing their social media instead of like putting their head in the sand hoping the negativity and noise just goes away. It's like you can just give people something. That way you said whatever, they can feel how they feel about it, but you made a statement, they get it, and they can do what they will with that. But that's just to answer Travis' question. Jay, High Ruler, you guys can jump in.
I just thought it was funny. Did you see a tweet from like Joraptor? I think it was. It's like, whatever happened to this? And it was like the debug menu that got leaked.
Yeah.
Like
buying something accidentally.
like I felt like even I knew it was the debug menu.
But that was the point. Like before that, it was like, okay, we have the hack. You can feel whatever you want to feel about it. And some people were kind of like pretending like that. Some people were pretending like, okay, the hack, we're not going to acknowledge that. But then when they get the New Game Plus update, they're like, oh fuck, what's this? So it was unavoidable. Yeah, I thought it was a fair. I thought it was a fair question because that's the other thing. Like, why would you phrase it that way? That's why he would if they didn't phrase it that way, he doesn't make that tweet.
I don't know, man. I'm indifferent on the DLC. I feel like a lot of the people that follow that game are a little undeserving.
Say it, yeah. Keep going. You're getting me going right now, Jay.
I just feel like they're just like bad people sometimes.
Yes.
Like it's like just fucking give it a break. Like it's so like that game is so all consuming to some people, and it's like it's just a single player game. I mean, like, let's be real. I get it. I love it. It's a great game. I really enjoyed it. But like there are people that have like every single save slot 100% completed New Game Plus and like on multiple accounts. And to me, that's wild. I'm glad somebody has a game they love that much. But at the same time, man, there's other games out there. Like, I don't know. It's a little weird to me. But hey, listen, whoever finds happiness their own way, that's great. But I don't know. I would have liked more content, but I don't know. I think there's another opinion we might want to get though.
Yeah, now we're talking.
It's time. I'm ready. I'm ready to say it. It's time. Okay, I'm ready to say that Marvel's Avengers was a better game than Spider-Man 2. No, I need my opinion first, though, Jay. Because
hold on.
Oh,
the balance of power has shifted.
Oh no.
We have another special guest. And he.
I forgot he can't see that.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't. That's why you thought I was talking about him.
That's why I thought. I was like, oh, I'm the last person to talk yet. I was like, oh.
No, there's somebody way more important than you.
Way more important.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. He's going to come in and shift the balance of power in this race war. The one and only.
Bro. Yo, wow.
Don't face me
Doom Killer HD, the man himself. Outside of Casual Avenger, definitely want to have Doom here for the 100th episode, because if it wasn't for this man right here, there wouldn't be one episode of the Aftershow podcast.
Nah, bro, y'all did this on your own, and it's fire. What's up with it?
I will not let you get away with that, sir. I didn't even know that JayShockblast was white before. I did your show. There was no chance in hell we would have ever had a conversation, let alone did 100 episodes of a podcast together. If it wasn't for you, my friend, definitely we're definitely giving Doom all of his flowers.
Yes.
If it wasn't for his podcast, his coverage, his community building during the Marvel's Avengers era, this podcast literally would not exist. He brought me, he brought Casual. I mean, he brought everyone together. And I mean, speaking of origin stories, I mean, High Ruler put Doom Killer on. High Ruler is the reason I knew who Doom Killer was in the first place, because he had him on for his Avengers podcast. So if it wasn't for High Ruler, as much as I hate to give him any credit for anything, I wouldn't know who Doom Killer HD was, and then I wouldn't have gone on his show and eventually met the non-black JayShockblast.
Big props to the dude High Ruler for sure, man. Like, I appreciate you, dog. What's up with it, man? I see Casual Avenger on there too. What's good with it, Kaz?
That's good, bro.
Ain't nothing, dog.
Everybody back from the dead.
Not the Avengers. Not the Avengers.
Oh man.
Y'all was talking about Spider-Man though. I wanted to hear what High Ruler had to say. He was about to go off.
Now that we got the gang all here, let's hear High Ruler spread his hatred.
Okay, you know what? I was saying that I believe that Marvel's Avengers is now the superior game over Spider-Man 2 because we got multiple DLCs. We got multiple characters. We got multiple DLCs, multiple biomes. It's now the superior Marvel game. And I'm so sorry to anyone who disagrees, but factually incorrect. Okay. I think like the real answer is obviously plans have changed. And I think we just don't know where plans have changed, right? Like obviously none of us sit in the boardroom. None of us sit where the managers sit. Obviously I agree with Casual.
Jay kind of does.
Jay does, yeah. You know, Jay sits at the head of Sony, sits at the head of Warner Brothers, Universal. Am I missing a couple? Jay, Disney,
OnlyFans.
Yep, OnlyFans. So I think it's like a little bit of twofold. Where obviously, obviously plans have changed, and they probably went from some sort of DLC plan to no DLC plan. And they just never communicated it for whatever reason. I know like their big line on Twitter was like, we have nothing new to announce at this time. That's like, that was like their very famous line that they would reply to. And I mean, it's tough. You know, I don't know. Obviously someone writes the checks and someone says what to say, what not to say. And I don't disagree that the hack probably played a factor at some point. But I think also too, is that Insomniac is just stretched thin, you know, like, you look at everything that they have going on, like that company is stretched. Like that is string cheese right there. And I think truthfully, like things have to get cut. So what are you cutting? You're not cutting Wolverine. You're not cutting what could be a Venom game, you know? And if you could put all that into a Venom game, why don't you? Aren't they making another Ratchet and Clank? Like, isn't that one coming? True though.
In like 10 years though.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you shift one project to another, but like at some point in time, things have to kind of fall by the wayside. And like these things are probably like a DLC and then like some shitty live service game that only, the diehard Spider-Man fans are going to play for 10 hours and then complain there's no new content after that. Like, it's just things have to get cut. And realistically, the unfortunate thing is that shit got cut. So, but yeah, I don't.
Or did it?
I mean, it got cut from the DLC, but did it get cut from being added to a Venom game?
Yeah, or maybe they just delayed it. Maybe it's as simple as they said, okay, the hack set us back. We got to scramble here. We had a specific timeline in mind for Wolverine that now is going to take a lot more resources and attention to hit. Mm-hmm. So they're like, okay, well, the Spider-Man 2 DLC isn't finished. So what do we do? All right, we can cancel it entirely, or we can just kind of put it off to the side, go all hands on deck on Wolverine, make sure that gets out by the deadline, and then we circle back.
Yeah, I mean, and that's actually like a pretty good copium take, right? Like all they say is, well, we have no additional story content planned. It doesn't say like forever. It just says, you can insinuate forever, but like truthfully, it could just mean right now.
Yeah. I mean, because you obviously know it was planned at some point. So, so presumably they could just be like, yeah, we'll just do it later when we have, more time. Because they do have a lot. They got, besides they're all hands on Wolverine. They just dropped the PC port for Spider-Man 2. They presumably have a Venom game. They've already started work on Marvel Spider-Man 3. So
I think that
there's
PC port is going to hold people over.
I was just about to say that whatever they got planned, PC is going to find it. So
those mods.
Yeah, I really do feel like that mod community is going to it's going to be enough for people. I mean, I think a lot of people are going to play the game for the first time then, and then there's going to be a lot of people that are like, well, I have a good PC too, so I'm going to go ahead and start playing on PC now and fill up all 15 of my New Game Plus slots with 100% completion, and also, play as Peppa the Pig or something.
I mean, I think what you're gonna see though is you're gonna see the haves and the have-nots, right? Where the PC community is gonna mod Carnage and they're gonna fight Carnage and they're gonna have all these cool things, and you have the PlayStation people which are gonna be super salty. It's gonna be the biggest infighting you've ever seen, and it's gonna be delicious. I'm gonna eat it all up for real.
We're already seeing it right now. I saw the some circulation of drama where people are complaining that they're worried essentially that PlayStation is turning into Xbox, because
I saw that. Yeah,
because they're already mad that this, let's be honest, this hasn't been the best generation for PlayStation. Everything got interrupted by the pandemic, so there was extended period of time where people couldn't even get access to the PS5. They haven't had a lot of content exclusive to the PS5 because of that shortage. I think at one point they said literally half of the PlayStation install base was on PS4, and then the other half was on PS5. So you had a lot of games that were releasing on PS5 and PS4, and then you had PlayStation kind of shift their focus to push PC more, where they were like, okay, well, we're going to have some live service games launch same day on PC, and we're going to be porting former exclusives to PC. So now the PlayStation narrative is kind of is this going to be the new normal going forward? Because usually with Ghost of Tsushima, that was a PC port after 4 years. Insomniac's PC ports have been average about every 2 years. Now the Insomniac PC port for Spider-Man 2 was announced less than a year after the game initially launched on PS5. So now people are wondering, is eventually just going to be PlayStation exclusive launching same day on PC now if they're not multiplayer?
I mean, I don't think so. I still think you'll have a period of exclusivity, but obviously they're trying to narrow that gap. Because I think there's probably a certain amount of time where if they release a PC port in a certain amount of window, they maximize their revenue with it. And then if you kind of fall past that, then obviously the revenue dips because no one cares, story spoilers, whatever. And then if you launch it too early, maybe you impact your revenue from your console market. So I think it's just a matter of Sony's just trying to find the perfect sweet spot. But if you buy a PlayStation 5, are you really that upset that they're launching a game day and date or within 30 days or within 90 days?
Oh yeah, they're big upset. But
I hate those people.
I'm not upset at all, but I'm not weird. So
let me do something I've always wanted to do since this is actually my show. Well, our show, but let me toss this to Doomkiller and see how he feels.
Oh shit! I knew that was coming. See y'all in a second.
Oh wait, you're right. I wasn't even thinking of that.
Oh, that's why I thought you were going with it.
That's what I was like, oh damn.
I was trying to just toss it to you and get your opinion, but then I got to kick you off the show.
Yeah, you did.
Let's do it properly, dude.
My opinion on the Spider-Man thing, yo, first off, the DLC, I mean, it is what it is. Like, if we ain't getting it, we ain't getting it. The game was good. It had a lot of playtime in it. You know, not the DLC, but the new game plus. Even though it took forever and a day to come through, it came through, and it was good when it came through. Yes, I do think that the hack had a big part to play in us not getting DLC for the game. The Venom game, we're probably going to get all of the stuff that we didn't get in Spider-Man 2 in that specific game. Spider-Man 3 is on the way. You know, we're going to have Silk in that. So, like, I mean, I'm not really mad, bro. You know, it's a year into Spider-Man 2 at this point. So, like, if we haven't gotten it already, I didn't expect that we was gonna get it. And then with that announcement, like, there was a lot of people that was sad about the announcement. I'm like, okay, cool, moving on. It's not a big deal. I think people just like to moan and complain and get their Donald Trump on when it comes to Spider-Man. I'm so sorry. Like, that's just what it is. People just butthurt all the time. Like, Spider-Man, somebody says it on Twitter at least once a day. Spider-Man fans are the worst when it comes to Spider-Man. Like, they don't even like their own character, bro. Like, you know,
that is the running joke.
True, because I was just thinking about this earlier, because I was seeing a lot of people say how disappointing Spider-Man 2 was, and how Spider-Man PS4 is the best, and that's when Insomniac peaked. And I couldn't help but remember what actually happened when Spider-Man PS4 came out, and it's just weird phenomenon that I'm seeing a lot on with the chronically online gamers, where they'll romanticize a game that they used to shit on in order to hate on the newer version.
Well, like, that's what we're seeing with Avengers all the time.
People are viewing Avengers less harshly now, only so far as they can, you know, talk about how bad Suicide Squad is. You know, Arkham Knight, a lot of people hated it when it came out, and then people were like, "Oh, it's the greatest game of all time," after, just so they could say how bad Gotham Knights was. Right. we're seeing the same thing with now Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, because I remember Spider-Man PS4 at launch, not the Spider-Man remaster. I remember the original old Spider-Man PS4. I remember the discourse. I remember all the stuff that happened, and at one point, I believe Spider-Man PS4 got more hate than Spider-Man 2 ever got. I mean, the only difference is that they didn't have any grifters at the time that hadn't taken off yet. So you didn't have that section of the internet. But within the community itself, oh yeah, way more toxic. I mean,
yo, that white logo. Remember when they dropped that white logo, bro?
They hated the event suit. The Spider-Man fans were going off saying, "Oh, what did they do to the suit? Why is the spider so big? Why is it white? This is the worst suit design ever." You know, they went off about puddles, saying that the game was going to be bad. There's not enough puddles in this construction site. Means the game's going to be bad. Like, they
hated the event suit.
Don't forget the Raimi suit weirdos who sent the devs death threats because it wasn't in the game at launch. And then the game itself, a lot of people criticized it. Like, the consensus was that the story was overall pretty good, but like, I'm seeing takes like, "Oh, Spider-Man 2, the missions, everything were so bad." People hated the missions in Spider-Man PS4. There was like 7 MJ missions, and they were way worse designed than the ones in Spider-Man 2. They were complaining about Screwball because they're saying it's the worst villain ever. They said most of the side missions were terrible and poorly designed. The only good one was Taskmaster. Like, they thought the story was decent, but the final boss fight, everyone was saying the final boss fight with Doc Ock was trash. The final suit was garbage. Like, they're saying the swinging was too slow. They would have some technical problems. It didn't launch a new game plus. There were tons of people who were complaining about Spider-Man PS4, and it and it had its share of flaws. There are people who didn't like the DLC. Like it came with DLC before the launch, and people were saying, outside of the heist, they said the DLC was trash. Like everyone had a hot take for Spider-Man PS4, and then you let a couple years go by, and Spider-Man 2 comes out. All of a sudden, oh man, I wish it was good Spider-Man PS4. No, it wasn't. Like, it's objectively a worse game than Spider-Man 2. It's
like the combat in Spider-Man 2 is like light years ahead of the Go back and play Spider-Man 1. Go back and play that, bro. For real. Like it's just people, the grift. Like you said, there wasn't no grifters back then, dude. It's the grift, bro. It's whatever you can, especially calling Spider-Man 2 woke. I'm like, Spider-Man 1 was woke for all of that. Miles Morales was right there from the beginning. It took place in the heart of New York. So yeah, Spider-Man 1 was woke as hell. Y'all didn't have a problem with it.
No, they did. There just was nobody monetizing it. So it wasn't that big a deal. Like people were bitching, why is Silver Sable beating up Spider-Man? Like that was a thing. That was a whole thing because she whooped his ass. Imagine if that happened. If in Spider-Man 2 you had a strong female character with no superpowers just spreading Peter's cheeks open in multiple missions. Like
I'd never hear the end of it.
There would be 100 videos just about that one mission.
Luckily Rafe didn't catch a hold of him real good because that would have been a wrap, bro.
Yeah.
The Asian lady beat up the white guy. Man, come on, bro. Grums with let me stop.
Yeah, like literally that's the only thing that saved it. The fact that those weirdos weren't active back then. Like, can you imagine if Spider-Man 2 had 7 MJ missions and Silver Sable whooping Peter's ass and Screwball?
We need to bring Screwball back, bro. We gotta bring Screwball back.
I think
no, we don't. No, we don't. Let's be real. We do not.
I think the Spider-Man community is just very easy to rile up, and I think that's just all it is. Like whether it's a movie, a TV show, a comic, got the comics. It could be like a voice actor, God forbid it's not Yuri. Like it's so easy to rile them up, and all it takes is like the slightest wind, and you have like an army at your feet ready to fight the holy war against like anyone who disobeys Spider-Man in some way, right? Like it's unfortunately true. Like they'll lay down their life on Twitter for you if you make a good argument for your Spider-Man case. Like, and it's sad because like I think it's fair to be disappointed because like I look at like Jedi Survivor, and Jedi Survivor is probably like my favorite game the year it came out. I think it was last year. And I wanted DLC for Jedi Survivor. Like I still want DLC for Jedi Survivor. And I'm not getting DLC for Jedi Survivor. I gotta wait till the third one to get it. And it's like, well, shit happens, man. Like, sometimes these games are just like the one and the dones, you play it, you beat it, you move on. But I think like with certain characters, not Spider-Man specifically, but with certain characters, certain franchises, people don't want to let go of these experiences. They want them to continue and continue and continue. But it's, but then you start saying dirty words, right? You start saying games as a service, or you start saying live service. And like, then you have that conversation. It's like, well, then you're never pleasing anybody. Right. And at that point you're fucked all the way around.
Yeah, of course. Cause they want a game as a service, but they don't want you to
be called that. Yeah, exactly.
And they don't want to pay for it.
Yes, of course.
They especially don't want to pay for it.
Bro, you know what? That's another grift, dude. Because people didn't have an issue paying for no damn DLC up until the grifters got a hold of, they're charging for microtransactions, and that was a wrap, dude. I know I bought DLC for the Ultimate Alliance games. I didn't give a damn. Like hey, I can get Thor and I can get whoever the hell the other characters was. Yeah, Colossus and all of them.
I think Call of Duty and NBA 2K ruined it for everybody. Like, because whenever I hear people bitching about microtransactions, they're always one of those players. Without exceptions, and they kind of just lump up everything with like the worst of the offenders. like they still talk about EA, even though EA hasn't really been doing that outside of FIFA. Man, for like their single player games are like usually separate. Like usually Ubisoft, who over monetizes their single player games. EA games for the most part like are microtransaction free. They have their stable of live service games, and then they just separate that from everything else. And everyone just takes the worst example of a live service game and applies it to asking for any sort of payment in a game. Like people, like even Spider-Man 2, they couldn't put up suits for sale for charity without people whining about having to pay for stuff.
Yeah, that's why I like have such a hard time with that community, man. Like, it's just so stupid. Like things cost money to make. I don't know if you guys all saw the Del Walker.
Del
Yeah.
He posted something recently about the costs involved for making just a simple level in like Tekken 8.
Oh, this is the Tekken controversy. Yeah,
and it's like like over $300,000 it costs just to make a simple stage design for all the different things that you have to do that goes into it. And I don't know if it's quite that, but like the way that he presented it makes sense. But I think it's a little bit less. I think he's like kind of over figuring based on like a full year's salary for certain people and whatever. But either way, it still costs a lot to make these things. And people just don't understand that. You buy the game, and it used to be like for all of us old people that had cartridges we had to blow on in order to like get them to keep working. Like you bought the game, there's nothing else coming to that game.
Nope.
Like you've got your cartridge, that's your game. And like there's this new amazing idea thing in gaming where like a game can keep evolving and keep growing, but it costs money to do that. And I don't mind paying for a game that I like, you know what I mean, and getting more out of it. So I just really
go ahead. Sorry, Jay. No, I was gonna say the only thing about the Tekken situation though is like it's kind of weird because like from my understanding, and I don't know if someone in chat or one of you guys can correct me if I'm wrong with the Tekken situation, was like I think the controversy was that like the people paid for their year one pass, right? So all the content essentially, right? And then Bandai was like, "Oh, we're actually going to release this separate stage, not a part of the pass you paid for. It's going to be like an extra $7 or $8." And I think that's where people. I know what you're saying. I know someone in the comments or someone in chat's gonna be like, "Actually, Jay, this is actually
right." No, and I was more just using that example as like
to frame it. Everything costs money,
right? To show like something like that you don't think is going to cost that much money.
Yes,
but it can, and it does, and that's why things cost money.
And that's not even getting to the license stuff, like which Spider-Man 2 is like when you're licensing a Marvel game in particular. That's a lot of extra expensive thrown on top of that.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to add in that games like Marvel's Avengers and Suicide Squad,
the better game,
kind of skew people's perception of how DLC can be, because you have these games that obviously cost a lot of money, like just behind the scenes, the upkeep of keeping a game like that going and keeping new characters coming in and new environments and stuff like that. Like that stuff costs money, and they're like, "Oh, we're giving it away for free." And then people compare that and contrast that with other games, like, "Oh, here's this new character for $15." They're like, "What? This should be free." And it's like, bro, I don't know what their economics are, but
I think battle passes have ruined that too. Like, I think battle passes have ruined the concept of like your money, what you get for your money. Because I think like battle passes are such good value, and you buy a battle pass, you get like fucking 5 skins and a bunch of shit. You're like, holy shit, it's like $10. Like that's fucking amazing, right? And then some of them, it's like, oh, I could fucking take the coins that I get and put it towards the next one, and I don't have to spend money that season, right? Like people, like I think battle passes have unironically like given such good value that they've ruined the perception of value as well to like other purchases outside of a battle pass, because people have to like justify it and been like, how the fuck do I justify $5 for a stage?
Shout out to you, Swag.
Or justify like a character that's like $8, $9, $10 when like the battle pass and you get all that is so much more cheaper, that has better value. It's
Yeah, another thing I was going to say is like if you look at if you look at some of the games, being handed over, overseas, like what Bandai just did with, kind of synergizing their DLC content. So you got the Dragon Ball Daima show that just released, and then you have DLC coming for Xenoverse and Kakarot, and then you have a character and new DLC coming in Sparking Zero. And that was seamless. Like that was across the board. And Xenoverse and Kakarot have been around for years. Those aren't live service games, but they're constantly getting new updates and DLC that people have to pay for, and people pay for it. And it's an even exchange. You get what you want from it. You get the characters and outfits and all the stuff you want to pay for, and the extra content. And there's no fighting or complaining about their process over there. People get excited every time they hear more stuff is coming. Pay for it, enjoy it, and look for whatever is next. Even though they never say, "Oh, well, we have more stuff coming." They just act like the game is the game. Here's a little more. Couple months down the line, hey, here's something new for you. People pay for it and keep it going. And then over on the American side, it's like this big huff about paying for content for a game that at its base package should have it was a $70 game, and now you're getting all this extra additional content. Oh, this all should be counted under a $70 game. And it's like, bro, in what world? Like that's one of the most disingenuous arguments you can make online. And there are people spearheading and promoting that. High Ruler, passing, people like Kyle, Q Cars. Talk about
they essentially want you to make a second game, but they want to pay just the price of the one game.
Exactly.
What was I going to say? Oh, I don't think people are ready for when Grand Theft Auto 6 finally actually comes out and it retails base for like $150.
Yeah, like my Canadian friends here, guys, welcome to the poor man's life, because Sparking Zero, the Ultimate Edition, cost me $160. Okay,
you know what it cost me?
$0, and you've played 2 seconds of it. I know.
Yeah.
But like to that point, like for us Canadians and the people who have a weaker dollar, there's no shot GTA 5 is going to be under $200. You're going to be looking closer to like $250, 100%.
Imagine, and you know what? People are going to pay for it. People are going to be gladly paying for it, because GTA has built up that community. That people have been waiting the last 10 years. They know that they're going to get a lot out of it. Literally a decade's worth of content they're going to get out of it. They got their shark cards ready to go. Like they're all in on GTA 6, no matter the cost. And you can definitely argue, like, yeah, I mean, $100, $150 for GTA 6, if it's if it expands on GTA 5, yeah, you're going to get like another 10 years out of a bare minimum out of this game. Yeah, Rockstar could charge 100, 120, 150 base, and people would pay it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then they'll re-release it on the PlayStation 8 and the PlayStation 9. And
they'll release the GTA 6 online, just that portion too, and they'll charge like $20 for that. So that'll work as well.
Yeah. And it's like that's what I'm saying. It's like stuff like that should be the goal for companies who are looking to establish a live service game. Like your goal should be to have this project keep going for at least 5 to 10 years. And so often we're seeing them giving up. I mean, Concord was crazy. Like that game was dead before I even knew what it was or what was going on.
Don't talk about Concord like that, sir.
Bro,
I'm just saying, it's like, bro, they just gave. I still don't really know what the hell Concord was or where it came from.
It was okay. I listen. I'll give you the breakdown of Concord. Okay, it was the smoothest feeling FPS game. I don't give a fuck about no Omni movement, Black Ops 6 bullshit. Apex Legend garbage, right? I'm a Siege player. That's trash. Concord, for everything you could say about the aesthetics of Concord, which can be argued to you're blue in the face, the feeling of playing Concord and the movement and the gunplay, so fucking preem. Oh my god. I'm sorry, Concord is garbage. Wrong opinion. If you haven't played it, you can't say that. I'm sorry. I will fight this chat.
I did play Concord, and I wouldn't say garbage. I would not say good.
That was certainly a take.
It's actually the smoothest feeling FPS.
Wait,
I'll
hold
say
on.
that.
Let me channel my inner Doom Killer.
Bruh. Dog, you know what was crazy? I literally was about to buy Concord, and I looked on. Someone was like, "Go look on Twitter real quick," and it was like, "Yeah, we're refunding everybody." The day I was about to buy Concord, I was like, "Oh, I guess I won't be playing with Hyrule."
The crazy thing, there was actually another Concord level bomb, but you know, this unknown non-awakening.
Yeah, what is that?
I literally only heard about that game when Paul Tassi wrote about it. I had literally never heard. Apparently, this game was shown off at an Xbox preview event. I literally don't remember it, and it's crazy. It debuted to 200 Steam players and terrible reviews. Apparently, they planned an entire cinematic universe around it. Like I'm looking at they had a novel trilogy planned, a scripted podcast, a comic book, plus the game.
What was the name of the game?
It's called Unknown 9.
It's like Rebel Moon, the video game edition.
Yeah, apparently this is another woke culture war game. I literally never heard of it. And to Casual's point, yeah, you want to have if you want to have a live service or whatever. I don't think the goal should be to it shouldn't just be to have something that's, you know, lasts for 5 to 10 years. Your first and primary goal should be make a game that's good, that people want more of, because this is a prime example of people trying to reach the end game without building up the universe. Like everyone wants to be the MCU. Everyone wants to have a big franchise. Everyone wants the forever game, but they ignore all the steps that it took to get there. If your game is shit, no one's going to want to watch 6 movie adaptations or three tie-in novels and a companion podcast, because
I think
they're not going to be invested. They're not going to be invested to begin with.
Yeah, and I think what you're kind of seeing is, like, you know, everyone has their forever game, right? Like, I guarantee I go around this panel, I go around chat, everyone has their one game they go back to that is like a live service, right? Whether it's Fortnite, whether it's like their Call of Duty every year, every other year, maybe some play Apex or whatever. Like, the thing is like everyone has that game already, right? So like if you don't match the quality of any of those games, you're toast, because like people are gonna be like, well, I have this, I have that, why am I gonna play your game? You know, like, and I think we're at that point now where like the gaming industry is kind of at a mature state, if that makes sense, where if you don't have a revolutionary idea with fun gameplay, you're kind of toast, you know, if you're trying to beat any of these games that have been out for 8, 9, 10 years at this point.
But also kind of the revolutionary idea in a way to these days is just to make a fun game. Like
Yeah.
Space Marine 2 was a massive hit, but was it revolutionary? Not really.
No.
I mean the most unique thing about it is the swarm system, but they introduced that in World War Z.
But speaking of actual good games, I'm gonna have to go ahead and give it up to the First Descendant. Though it's not like this breakout hit of the year, it's still consistent. There's always somebody on there playing, and the game looks and feels good. So I'm gonna go ahead and throwing those games in the wall.
It was a hit too. Okay, they made a lot of money off those waifu skins.
It was a hit. It was a hit to them cheeks.
Oh yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, literally every time I load into that game, I just see nothing but ass.
Soon as you get in that main lobby, bro.
Soon as I teleport into the lobby, just ass everywhere.
That actually reminded me of something from Comic-Con. So I was at the Marvel booth and I was trying to go, you know, to where the Funko area was. And as I'm walking, I see like this couple kind of like moving very fastly towards me. and they're both in cosplay, and the girl, just out of nowhere, her top exploded, and they were just banging around everywhere, and I was like, it's like frozen in time, and like
deer in headlights.
Yeah, like it just happened in slow motion, and like she just kept going, did not even care.
Jay didn't even have time to pull out his second phone. He could only record.
You know?
He could only record the first one.
I like literally was just like, what? What?
Just they say OnlyFans at Comic-Con for you, sir.
Seriously. Well, it's funny because I think it was like 2001 Comic-Con. There I was hanging out in like the lobby area right when you walked in.
Jay used the force.
No, there was a girl who, it turns out, because I did post a picture of that one on Twitter, and people informed me right away that she was a porn star, and like they were massive. And like,
sorry. What did you say? They? Do you mean the people who replied to you, the numbers, or are you talking about something else?
I'm absolutely talking about what you think I'm talking about.
Okay, just want to double check. We had to clarify.
Yeah, I Comic-Con's wild. All right, but like she just kept going where she was going, and like did not even like adjust. I'm like,
respect.
How long did you follow, Jay? How long did you follow? How long did you follow?
I was literally stuck in the moment, like did not even move, because like I was like feeling bad for her.
Yeah, her tits used domain expansion. He couldn't get out.
Yeah, it was like
he got put in the genjutsu.
I don't even know what any of that means.
Infinite domains.
She hit him with the twin infinities.
I don't really think it's fair that you're like referencing these inconsequential like things that I don't even know what mean.
You should just play Dragon Ball, and you'd have been fine, Jay.
I played that game and rage quit immediately on stream. Deleted the stream.
That's what you get for not watching One Piece, Jay.
That might be.
Are we sure that was One Piece though? Because like,
it definitely wasn't One Piece. Obviously, it was two.
Honestly, Jay, that might be my new favorite stream of yours. Like, obviously, like Thor and the OLC is an all-time classic. But I was laying in bed with my girlfriend and we were watching something. And I was like, babe, I gotta watch Jay's stream. So like, took out my phone and I watched it. And let me tell you, I enjoyed it.
My God, Jay.
I don't have it on my computer, but that was the one from a few years ago.
He has it on a different computer.
That's a password locked folder on his phone.
I'm too lazy for that. Hold on, let me see if I can like.
That's an encrypted hard drive.
He's got one app.
1,000 new viewers.
He's got WhatsApp embedded into his phone, bro. Like, he's good.
That man has an air gap computer. He uses it for porn and to stay off the grid from the CIA.
It was not Amaranth. I don't know who it was, but it was like.
No, she's definitely more gifted than Amaranth. I will say that.
Hold on, I'm getting it off my phone so that you guys can partake. This was not the one from the other day. This is the one from a couple of years ago.
This is an upload from Thor's phone.
Yeah.
This is video game adjacent content, guys. If anyone asks,
it's
cosplay.
Technically, it's related to Comic-Con, which is in the it's in the plan. It's in the program.
It's in the wheelhouse.
It's connected. This is a connected content.
This is the Insomniac DLC.
I don't know what that cosplay is.
It looks like a OF Maleficent.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, is that Maleficent?
I don't know. Like people were like responding like to the tweet of the picture when I tweeted it back then, like who it was.
That's
like,
crazy.
Yeah, it was definitely like a very large porn star.
She's like 6'2", no?
Imagine how
she was also huge. Yeah.
Imagine how many bookmarks that got.
Yeah. I wish. I mean, I wish I still had the tweet, but I don't even remember.
Someone find it. Chat. You know what you have to do now.
It was New York Comic Con 2021, I think.
I'm sure they're already
22?
on top of it.
Yeah.
But all right, now that we're a little deep in the show, let's open it up to the chat. We may regret this, but
yeah,
we're gonna go through it. Drop the link, and we can start inviting people in one by one.
Yeah. So couple rules here. Try to keep it as clean as possible. You know, be respectful.
Don't be weird.
Don't be weird,
bro. No music in the background. That's the quickest way to get a copyright strike. Oh, fellas, though, let me go. I need to go ahead and hang out with the fam. I definitely appreciate y'all letting me come on in here. And
absolutely, we love you,
man. I'm gonna try to get on these shows more, dude. But real life is just real as hell right now. So I'll see y'all when Marvel Rivals come out or something like that. Hopefully.
Oh yeah, we will be there.
Yes, I'll see you at that Trump rally, bro.
The Blacks for Trump rally.
Blacks for Trump.
I just puked in my mouth a little bit. This is the worst taste of it. Thank you so much. I know you a senior citizen and all, and I know it's boomers like to go with Trump, but nah, dog, I'm not that old.
Casual's just looking for those tax cuts, bro. That's all he's doing, bro.
Casual on his Uncle Ruckus right now.
Nah, seriously though. Thank y'all, boys. It was good seeing you, Ruler. Good seeing you, Avenger.
Yes, sir.
All right, Jay and Sadot, y'all boys, enjoy, man. Thank y'all.
Take it easy,
Yes,
dude.
Wait, hold on. Oh, I was gonna kick him off.
Nope. I will not allow you to do it.
All right.
Speaking of Trump, let's bring in our first member of the chat, Travis.
Evening, guys. And yes, I look exactly like what Sadot thought I would.
Literally. I thought the only thing missing is the cowboy hat.
No. Just because I'm a Texan don't mean I like country crap.
Is it?
Yeah, no, man.
Don't you know?
I think I think the craziest thing to me about all the gaming, about all the Spider-Man stuff was like I saw people, and I'm sure y'all did too, as far back as like the game came out, what was it, like October 20th? By October 23rd, I was seeing people, when's the DLC coming? And it's like, it reminded me of like Fallout 4. As soon as Fallout 4 came out, it was, when is Fallout 5 coming? It's like people don't take time to enjoy what they buy anymore. They just rush through it as fast as they can and then go, okay, I want something else. It's like,
that's actually a fair point.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Why spend $70 on a game if you're going to rush through it in 5 hours?
Yeah, it's more about the build up and the hype, and then once the game actually comes, it's let's jump to a hot take and then rush the DLC or whatever is next. It's not about enjoying the actual content.
And the funny thing to me, at least, is like, and I mean, we all know how well the game went over at first, but Fallout 76, the directors themselves even admitted the only reason we made this was so y'all would shut up about Fallout 5. Like, we were just so sick and tired of hearing you say it. Which is why I'm kind of almost like, I think the multiplayer Spider-Man would have been a good idea. If nothing else, then it would have maybe given them less time to have to worry about, okay, when is Spider-Man 3 coming out? It's like,
I think it would have been a disaster.
I mean, you're probably right.
I think people would have been like, "Oh man, yeah, finally multiplayer Spider-Man game," and like a month later, this is bullshit. Where's the content? Why they're charging for skins? I don't want to pay for skins. What?
I'll never get people. I will never understand people who want free DLC, because to me, if something is free, like let's say Jay's Funko Fusion comes out. Actually, I think they're going to have free DLC, so this is a bad example already. But let's say something comes out and they go, "Oh, we're going to do free DLC." Well, all that tells me is you didn't have faith in your product enough that you think if we would have charged money for this, people wouldn't have bought it. If you have faith in your product, and if I see a DLC that's $20, I'm going to go, "Oh, they must think this is worth $20. If I see a DLC that's free, I'm just like, okay, they must not have cared enough to charge for it.
But the other end of that spectrum is that, yeah, they thought it was worth it, but then you have Shattered Space expansion. Which,
hey, well, take that back. Starfield is a perfectly acceptable 2011 game.
Fair, actually. We have hold on, guys. We have breaking news.
Oh,
the 100th episode just got a little spicier. The man, the myth, the legend has just graced us with his presence. The leak god, Miller Ross.
Oh,
his blank screen. And also,
can you hear me? Hold on.
And also Cap Tag.
What's it with us Canadians and having issues when we first come on streams today?
I blame your inferior
because
currency.
Your brains are damaged from all that years of playing hockey.
True, actually, yeah.
All right, real quick, when we bring people on, we're just make sure everybody is one at a time, and there are a few people waiting backstage.
Yeah.
We are going to get to you, I promise.
Feel free to kick me off whenever, sir.
We're kicking off the people who aren't important. So,
I'm first then.
I'm the first to go then.
Right now is debatable right now. We're getting close to our white man quota.
Yeah, we'll get to everybody as we can. So just please be patient. First time we've ever done this. Miller Ross, welcome to the show.
Hey, sorry, this is my first time in VR on my new computer.
Oh, nice.
So it's running me ragged, but I'm almost there.
Congrats again on the new computer, Mr. Ross.
Thank you. Yeah, no,
get that forever.
I can tell you one thing that'll tip me in the getting kicked off sooner category. I know who the character is, but I've never played a Parappa the Rapper game.
Oh, you have to. It's so much fun.
Oh, they're great.
I think it was just that, like, at that point in time, I was like in my teenage years, and everyone was, anime and Bleach was a big thing and all that, and it was like I didn't actually. My very first, yes, I'm incredibly white. I'm like albino white. My first system that I ever owned, like bought myself, was a PS2, and Parappa the Rapper. I'm like, why are they not now? Looking at it all these years later, I'm like, why are they not making more of these? There's so many different things you can do with this.
Yeah, it is fair to wonder why. Like you start hearing stuff about Sony thinking that they need more IPs when you play through something like Astrobot and you're like, oh, look at all these unused IPs floating around Sony.
Somebody yesterday said Capcom needs more IPs, and I was like, well, you know what they could do? They could bring back this little game called Dino Crisis that everyone's been asking for the last 10 years.
Or Devil May Cry, just throwing that out there.
Well, they just had Devil May Cry 5 2 years ago, man. Stop being the Spider-Man fans.
We need a Devil May Cry game at least every 2 years.
And where's Pragmata?
That is another. Well, from what I've heard, things aren't going well over there. But,
oh, really?
I'd like to make a correction. Devil May Cry 5 came out in 2019, dog. Didn't come out 2 years ago. Just saying.
Fact check.
It's fine.
Fact check.
Got him.
The only reason I would hesitate to say let's have one every 2 years is you don't want it to become a Ubisoft scenario where they're turning them out so fast that it's like they're losing their appeal.
Good point. Give us a forever Devil May Cry game.
I was about to say I would play a Devil May Cry live service, and then I remember they made one for the phone. It was horrible. So
Obviously not a phone game because they're inferior. But,
the last time I saw DMC, they made a third one and they had co-op on it for the Switch. I'm sorry, dog, but if y'all can't do that for modern consoles, then what the frick are we doing here?
Fair point. Now, Mr. Miller Ross, our most frequent guest.
Oh, is that true?
Literally, it is.
Oh, wow.
I believe you've been almost here. I think you literally actually might have been here more often than Casual at this point.
Wow.
I don't know about that. But
it's getting close.
Lately.
It's actually getting close. You and High Ruler are our most frequent guests. And obviously,
well, that's quite an honor.
Obviously, we enjoy having you here way more than High Ruler.
Exactly.
I listen. I don't blame you at all.
But you know what's been going on in your life. I tap in on the timeline, so I know that you've been going through a lot of changes, some good stuff as well. So catch the people up, Mr. Ross. What's going on, and how are you handling life now that you don't have a complete piece of shit for a computer?
Oh, it's tough. Honestly, I didn't realize, like, I knew power draw on modern computers is like massively out of control, but I've been tripping fuses.
Ooh.
I got to hire an electrician. Like, it's opened up a whole new set of problems. I had no idea. I've been undervolting. I've probably clocked more hours in my BIOS than I have in Rivals. Like, it's a lot. But I mean, anybody with a modern computer knows, especially with like an Intel processor, knows. Oh, it's tough out there in these Chicago streets.
Though we know it. Also, what happened with that? Didn't you sign with a management company or something?
Oh yeah, I signed with a management company. It's been a lot of fun. They're very new, like it's, I'm not like in 100 Thieves or whatever, but like, it's pretty fun. It's been a nice way to network. It's been a little dose of legitimacy. It's a whole new era, I think, as soon as I hire that electrician anyways.
I mean, the fact that you're in a position to hire electricians, I mean, you're getting kind of a big shot, Miller.
Oh yeah. Well, if you live like
people, when you get up,
I'm getting very into DIY, country life.
Oh, fair. It's also cheaper.
I mean, kind of. You know how much I pay for internet?
Well, you're in Canada, so $500.
Oh, well, close actually. I pay $200 for like a local satellite array into the forest where I live.
Jesus,
it's madness. There's no like. It's not even one of those where it's like, oh, we don't have modern broadband or we don't have phone lines.
Oh my God!
Like I live in a forest. So yeah, it's a lot. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of fun though. It's new challenges. I feel like Linus Tech Tips.
As I say, I pay $70 for internet.
Oh, I wish.
All right, are we ready to bring in?
Yeah, let's
just bring in the other two people.
We got two people in there, so let's make some room. I think we can fit in one more.
I feel like this is like in true honor of like a Doom show where we'd have like 10 of us talk about Marvel's Avengers on like a Saturday night,
I just want to say this. As far as I'm concerned about the Spider-Man thing, I know y'all probably done moved on from that. But yeah, two things. One, Midnight Suns was better than Spider-Man 2, and I will fight anybody that says otherwise. Number two, if any game actually deserved DLC, if not more, it should have been Midnight Suns. They should have had a season 2, and I will stand on that hill.
I'm with you.
That's a basic.
I can't say that's wrong. Funny enough, as much as I love Midnight Suns, I actually own the DLC. I haven't played any of them. I bought the whole season pass afterwards. I have not played a second of any of the DLC.
I only played some of it. I think I played Venoms and maybe somebody else's. I can't remember.
It's interesting you bring him up.
Hi.
Midnight Suns is a better representation of Venom anyway.
Sadot, I'm a big fan. I've been wanting to talk to you forever, and I finally have the chance to talk to you. What's up?
Welcome in, Swag.
What's up, Swag Gaming? Appreciate you hanging out and supporting the channel.
I found out about your channel last year because I like superheroes, and then that's how I found out about this. I've been wanting to talk to you for so long.
Oh,
this
sure.
is the type of stuff we love, man. I'm really happy you're here, and this is why we're doing this tonight, is to hang out with everybody.
I'm a big fan of you too, Jay.
Oh, thank you so much.
You don't have to fan
of me. We know you're here for Scott, and that's okay.
That was actually perfect. Like, Jay's doing like the wholesome, like, I love this, and he's like, yeah, I'm actually kind of a fan of you too, Jay. Like, oh, I need that. Someone clip that for me.
Yes, there you go. Yes, ask for.
When does Marvel Wolverine come out? When do you think? 2025 or 26?
Okay, so from what I've been trying to gather, I don't know if Miller has any tea, but so originally, because I was keeping tabs on the release window, Jeff Grubb had a lot of early stuff on Marvel's Wolverine, specifically around the release time, and that's how actually we knew it was going to be M-rated. But they were trying to hit 2024. But it was in a situation where it was like, realistically, this is going to be 2025.
Mm-hmm.
But then the cyber attack hit. So I think that added at least 6 months onto their timeline, potentially. So if I were a betting man, I would say mid 2026.
Good. I can't wait for Wolverine.
I am also looking. I'm not one. I know. I dropped a Wolverine video earlier today, and
I commented. I saw.
But I saw some of the comments where people saying they thought Wolverine was going to be bad because Sweet Baby or Woke or whatever. I hope it's the wokest game ever made, and I'm going to play every second of it. I've been waiting for Wolverine game forever.
After seeing Deadpool and Wolverine, I know that's probably gonna happen, but I would definitely like to see one person in the Wolverine game. I like to see Gambit in it.
Ooh.
You know how long I've been waiting for this? Ooh, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
So since nobody's brought it up yet, the other one that's an unknown to me that I'm very curious on. I want to see what Motive is going to do with the Iron Man game, because I've been talking with friends and I'm like, man, it's EA publishing it. If it does not hit at least as good a flight as Anthem, it's not going to make it, because Anthem, the one thing you can give Anthem, that flight was perfect, and it's like you're literally right down the hall from them. If you don't go to them and be like, hey, can we get some input here?
I'm not worried about Iron Man yet. Like I'm definitely terrified about everything I've heard about Wonder Woman. I've not heard a single good thing about that game.
Me too. I heard it.
Honestly, I'm actually getting a little scared of what's going on over there. But Motive is a really good studio. Obviously, the Dead Space remake wasn't a hit like they thought it would be. I think they probably overpriced that one. I think that played a role in it, because quality-wise, everyone agreed it was pretty great. But I think they're going to nail the Iron Man game. I have a good feeling about that Iron Man game. I think we're going to potentially see it at the Game Awards, and it's going to be big.
Can I ask you a question? I've been dying to ask you this question, you too, Jay. I'm a YouTuber myself, but I haven't posted any videos in a while. Do you guys mind if you guys can do a collab video with me? Because I kind of want to do one, and I'm curious to see what it's like.
We can try to do something at some point, I'm sure.
Thank you.
I think Jay charges about $10,000 per collab. So
he's been taking the money bags lessons from Spiral.
Make sure you have your Bitcoin ready.
And the Venmo too. Can't forget that.
You just come to either of us with a plan and
look. I want to show you. I'm the biggest Spider-Man fan ever. My real name is Parker, but I'm Spider-Man fan.
Nice.
I have All Might on my lock screen, so
I take back everything bad about I said about Spider-Man fans.
I'll be right back.
Is literally the model.
That's funny, Castle Ruler. That's funny.
It's wholesome. I take back everything bad I said about Spider-Man fans. This is a really wholesome moment.
I had brought in Kevin to see if we could fit that many people.
No Diddy.
I can let me add this and then I'll rotate out so you guys can have a little more room on the panel. But
Unc, it's good to see you. It's been a while.
Man, bro, I've been in the shadows, but I'll work my way back into the light one of these days.
The day you do that is the day they put Rhodey in for Marvel Rivals.
I mean, have more faith in me.
I mean, don't never say never. Marvel Rivals is we can't go into too much detail because Jay's I don't want to get banned like Jay got us banned previously, but
Jay working with the ops boss.
The character selection, the roster they're going to have for Marvel Rivals is going to be legitimately insane.
It's insane.
So Celebration, I got a question for you. Do you guys all got this statue? The good thing about it is I got this for free.
Oh, mine is back there. It actually broke.
Mine sold out.
I got this for free. I know it's buying a GameStop. He gave this for free because he was trying to sell it, and he was like, "I want you to have it because you're the biggest Spider-Man fan." I was like, "Thank you."
That's awesome.
My Venom arm broke. I got to glue it back on.
You're talking about the Rivals. Did you see? I was reading the article yesterday. The guy also said he's like, well, we've only got like 400 characters with like 80 years of content to pull from. I love this director because he was like, how you could make, no offense to y'all because I know we said it's a good game, but he was like, how in the world you could have an Avengers game and not pull from the 40 plus years of history? I'm like,
based.
I just want to say, don't you find it just a little bit funny? Because we talked about this with Midnight Suns, because I read the article talking about how they said they could have up to 60 characters in that game. Don't you find it funny how the most slept on Marvel games are the ones that actually end up having more characters? Just think about it. Avengers had 9 characters at launch, and then we got 3 DLCs, and then I think 3 other characters after that. But when it comes to games like Marvel Rivals, which shout out to them for pulling more characters than we actually thought there were, and Midnight Suns, who again should have had 2 DLCs, but combined, they actually are doing way more for Marvel games than some of these AAA Marvel games that we've had in the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, as much as I love Midnight Suns, I think the reason why it didn't reach what it needed to do, and Avengers were very different. Obviously, Avengers didn't reach its potential because just technical issues. You could say wrong engine, you could say mismanagement. A lot of stuff went into that. But Midnight Suns, let's be honest, it was the cards. It was the card game.
So I got a question for one of you guys. Either Fade Out or anyone can answer. So I unfortunately saw the leak like everyone else from Insomniac Games, but I didn't see the game leak play. All I just saw was their timeline of games of what they were going to release. I saw a new rumor that Venom, the Lethal Protector, that's what it's going to be called. It's either going to release in 2025 or 2027. What do you guys think?
Hey, Kevin.
I wouldn't expect to see. So first of all, because he said anyone. So first of all, I wouldn't expect to see anything on Venom until after Wolverine is out, because Insomniac is not this huge studio everyone thinks they are. I've met people who are like, well, they've got 500 plus employees. No, they're like 150. So I think that you're going to have to wait for Wolverine to come out first, and then I know we're already talking about this. If there's any DLC for Wolverine, let's just go ahead and get that out.
All the broken clocks.
Yeah, but no. So I wouldn't expect to see anything on. I know a lot of people who are like, well, if we see Venom at this year's Game of the Year awards, I don't think we see it at Game of the Year awards. It's too soon.
As often as Travis is incorrect, I think he makes a fair point here. If just looking at Insomniac's kind of hype cycle when it comes to the games, now it's definitely possible that they can promote both. I mean, for Spider-Man 2, they revealed Wolverine and Spider-Man 2 in the exact same show, but I don't think they're going to promote Venom too heavily if they're planning on releasing Wolverine, especially like soon. I think it is definitely possible for them to just announce Wolverine, just announce Venom just to get out there. But if it is like a smaller game, I can definitely see them like kind of holding back on Venom, focusing on Wolverine, and then they announce Venom, but then they also say, hey, it's also coming out in maybe like 6 months or something, something like similar to how Xbox did Indiana Jones, where you didn't hear anything really about it, and then all of a sudden they come out swinging with like a big marketing push, like, hey, it's coming out in by the end of the year, something like that. Especially since this is like more like the Miles Morales type of game, I could see them going that route.
Yeah, and console war idiocy aside, like
goofiness, yeah.
Even though I'm primarily a PlayStation player, like I got no problem saying like when Indiana Jones comes to my PlayStation 5, I will get it. And people are like, well, you're giving money to Xbox, right? I'm like, I don't care. If you make a good product is all I care about.
Yeah, but what about the imaginary
I want to be on my Agent of Chaos status right now. I really do. Especially with all this stuff that happened for the last, 2 months. If I'm being so honest right now, after the cyber attack that Insomniac had, as far as I'm concerned, every person that wished death on them, that was hating on them, if we somehow end up getting a Venom game, I want them to keep the receipts. All the people that preyed on their downfall.
Yep.
Each and every single one of them. Y'all don't get to touch this game. Not one of them.
So we did bring Kevin in, and he's been waiting patiently. So hello, Kevin. Welcome.
We're good, Kev.
Yeah,
we might pick the wrong time for it, obviously.
Yeah. Good timing. Good timing, Jay. The one thing I want out of this, speaking of receipts,
there he is.
Is I want it for Marvel's Wolverine, starting with Marvel's Wolverine. I want Insomniac to not give IGN anything.
Oh, please.
Literally nothing.
Please. I will be laughing at that.
They don't get an invite to the preview event.
Nope.
They don't get a review copy. Straight up tell IGN, if you want to play Marvel's Wolverine, because we saw what you did. You put out all the spoilers and stuff like. If you want to review it, buy it. It's available in the PlayStation Store.
Basically, translation boss saying y'all can kiss our ass.
Yeah, I want to see some accountability at some point for IGN.
I'm gonna date myself a little here. First Marvel game I ever played was, if anyone else remembers this, and it's sentimental to me because first one, Marvel Nemesis: Rise of the Imperfects.
Holy shit!
Anyone remember that game?
Wasn't that the PS1 fighter with Minerva?
Never saw Spider-Man was mine, right? So you got me beat, pal.
I would kill. Like everyone, I keep hearing, and this is what drives me crazy about the way the comic book games work. Like, I know Sadot's about to be like, God, here he goes pitching this, but like you could, okay, people go, well, NetherRealm Studios isn't going to work with Marvel. It can't happen. They're part of DC. They're part of Warner Brothers. It's not going to happen. So what's the solution? Come up with a 3D, I know, but arena fighter for Marvel. You could do it. It's like there is so many avenues you could explore with comic books. And inevitably, all they want to do, and I know Cap Tay goes off on this too, all they want to do is Spider-Man and Batman, and it's like,
yeah, because God forbid we go one time without them making a game about that pointy-eared night rat.
I agree with you. I agree.
Damn, I wish I had. I gotta upgrade our sound board. I need to add booze for takes like a 3D fighter for a Marvel game. Like I don't know what I want. I'm not sure which I want least. A 3D fighter for a Marvel game or a single player Punisher game. I'm not sure which I least want.
I'll give you some good news, Sadot. I've come around to your line of thinking, and I think that a Marvel Zombies by Saber actually would be a phenomenal game.
Obviously, it was an amazing take. So I'm glad you finally agree.
I mean, Frank, my boy.
I never read the Zombies arc before then, so it's one of those weird things where it's like, I love superheroes and I love Resident Evil, but when you say, "What if superheroes but Resident Evil?" you're kind of like, I don't know. So, having finally read it, and I may bring him on in a minute, but so I work part-time at my local library, and whenever they're getting rid of their comic books, they're like, "Hey, do you want to take this or whatever?" So I actually got the omnibus for part 1 and 2 of Nightfall yesterday. They were just going to throw it away. So
that's a pretty good deal.
I was like, I'll take it. And it really dawned on me, like, when you look at it, and I'm going to ask this as a group question. What do you think killed Gotham Knights? Was it that nobody wanted to play as those 4, or was it that they didn't have enough villains in the game?
Well, we know what Cap Tay's take would be.
I want to take this one. I'm
go ahead,
I'm going to be the spokesperson for Miller Ross. That game wasn't Marvel's Avengers, so it never had a chance.
Fair. Gotham Knights is actually something I'm very curious about. I've been trying to dig behind the scenes. Did you find anything behind the scenes, Miller, about what the fuck happened? Because like
Gotham Knights,
yeah, like not obviously there was a lot going on. Like they started development obviously on a more live service focused approach with the looter thing, and then they like abandoned that. They started out it was going to be on PS4 and Xbox One. Then they stopped that for like 5 months out from launch. That's just going to be next gen only. There was obviously a bunch of cut content like Two-Face, Catwoman, Solomon Grundy. They dropped 2 DLC, but they didn't charge for anything. They didn't obviously do the easy money making thing and just drop a paid Batman prequel DLC. But the weirdest thing to me was losing basically the heads of all 3 top positions in the studio within the same week. Like, what the fuck happened behind the scenes on that game?
Yeah, I don't know anything specifically, but when I was at the studio, I asked about DLC, and they just never. They said, "Yeah," shrug their shoulders,
The information I came across kind of suggested that like they budgeted for a certain amount of content based on a certain amount of WB money bags from Jay, and then when those money bags never manifested, they just kind of had to shift and plan differently. So that I think that's mostly the reason.
Remind me of what the question again was.
Did Gotham Knights fail because the core concept of playing as these 4, stopping, after Batman's gone missing, they didn't know he was dead at first, but dead. Was it the core concept was the problem, or was the problem that they didn't put enough villains in that game?
If I'm going to be honest,
the problem.
I'm back. What's happening?
I mean, that game does have a lot of problems, but honestly, I don't believe villains was one of them. They would have did. I mean, they could have added more villains, but honestly, for me, I felt like it was the combat. Because let's just keep it 100. Let's just keep it 100. The combat, in my opinion, kind of felt limited. Like, I'm just being real.
Sure.
I felt like the combat was very, very limited. And for characters that have the fighting styles that those 4 individuals have, y'all could have went crazy with it.
Yeah.
But you chose to instead take the, I'll say, the easy way out. You made it more story mode rather than just go ham with it like y'all did in Arkham Knight. I find it funny how Arkham Knight's DLCs was better than the main game itself. And those DLCs was mad short, especially Red Hood's DLC.
Oh, yeah. Like, what, an hour maybe?
And it's like, what? Y'all literally had a whole bunch of inspiration from those DLCs, so why don't you take a page from them?
So my question for you, Jay, is I just saw your sub count. You're at 337K subscribers, and you always wear hats. If we get you to 400K subscribers, can we get a hat review? Or without you?
I've shown my hair before. I just like wearing hats.
Yeah, we don't need to see
You're
it
not
again.
missing anything.
No.
I've always wondered what's underneath that durag.
I feel like that old SpongeBob meme. Bald.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm actually. I have a decent amount of hair.
Not again!
Oh, I only saw the forehead.
Put some respect on his head, man.
I only saw the forehead.
Speaking of wait, I'm glad we're focusing on Jay. Jay, I actually have a question. How do you feel about your rivals, the Yanks, going to the World Series today?
I mean, we gave Mookie Betts to the Dodgers for a reason.
All right, I'm looking at you now. You're at 133 subscribers. Congrats, by the way. But I've always wanted to see what you look like without that do-rag. I'm curious.
I don't think that's happening.
No.
If we can get you to 200 subscribers,
Yeah, 200,000 ain't enough.
How much would you get?
I think he needs $1 million for that one.
1 million.
All right, so
everyone subscribe to Sadot the Gamer.
All right,
is anyone worried at all? So like Marvel's Rise of Hydra, I'm not worried about that at all.
Ooh, I can't wait for that game.
But
a little bit.
The Black Panther solo game, like the fact that one, we haven't seen anything, and two, I'm hearing all these reports of like, they've got 5 different project leads and all that stuff, and it's like, I mean, you always have to take that with a grain of salt, but right. Do you think there's a possibility the Black Panther game comes out and everyone's like, man, he was more fun to play in Avengers than in this?
I think there's definitely a possibility, because the main difference between the Iron Man game and the Black Panther game, well, for one, the Panther game is supposed to be earlier in development. That's why we really haven't gotten too much. But also, Cliffhanger is a new studio. They're small. EA just recently put them together. I've been following some of the people on the team. They're kind of small, but Motive, they're experienced. They have a lot of veterans on that team. So I would not be surprised if Black Panther is relatively rough compared to Iron Man. I think that is a distinct possibility. And then you add on to the culture war angle. I'm already seeing people targeting some of the devs that are working on Cliffhanger, working on the Black Panther game. And plus the rumors from Jeff Grubb that they were apparently considering a game where you're not T'Challa. You're playing an original Black Panther after the previous one died. So,
forget about the fact that 1943 Rise of Hydra is literally about his ancestor Azuri, acting like we haven't had multiple Black Panthers.
So my ultimate goal is before I die. I know I'm 21. I shouldn't be saying this, but my ultimate goal is before I die, I want to own every Marvel and DC game in my collection. So far I have the original Spider-Man. I have Miles Morales. I have Spider-Man 2. Celebration Ruler's gonna like this one. I got Marvel's Avengers. I got Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. and I got Midnight Suns so far. And for my DC collection, I have Suicide Squad.
Oh God.
I have Gotham Knights, and I have Injustice 2, and I have Batman Arkham Knight.
I mean,
slander here. No Suicide Squad slander. None of that's not.
So you're 21 right now. So
yeah, I just turned 21.
You just turned 21. Congrats. I'd say you have. What do you say? You have until January. You have until January until everyone dies.
No.
Yeah, so you have some time left.
There we go.
I'm legally allowed to take 3 people into my house. You guys are allowed to start fighting over that place now.
Celebration ruler. Since you guys played Spider-Man 2 like me, I'm gonna go around the room. I want to know your favorite villain in the game and why. I'll go first.
Well, hold on. We need to make some room for some new people. So let's go ahead.
Let me volunteer to rotate out, Jay. It's actually pretty late for me. I got to get up early in the morning. This has been a blast. I'm so glad that you guys are still pushing for it. Definitely glad to meet you, Swag, Miller. Wrap a bit. But you guys enjoy the rest of your night. I'll definitely be back for future streams and stuff like that when I can. But thank you guys for having me. Jay, I'll be on the lookout for the money bag for the show and everything.
So let's also say thank you to Travis, Swag, and Capte. Anything you want to add before we try to open it up for another group?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, I was just gonna
say, you guys seem like really cool guys. Can I add you guys on PlayStation?
Some of us are.
We'll see what we can do.
I just want to say real quick, Boss, Moneybags, Castle Roller, and obviously that man, the Goat Mill. I know I ain't always been here, but in the time that I have been here, I've always enjoyed coming in here and having y'all talk about stuff, no matter what it is. The fact that y'all still are going strong and made 100 episodes of these says a lot. And honestly, with the crazy week that we've been having, for us just to come in here and just chill, talk about things, get our personal opinions out, and on occasion we clown on Jay, but that's just side content for the day. We genuinely appreciate what y'all do. We genuinely appreciate what y'all do.
Thank you guys again. You guys are good people. And Sadot and Jay in Celebration. Now when I go to your streams and you see Swag Gaming, you guys know who I am. So just keep out an eye on for me when I say hello.
Thank you. Thank you for being a genuine person other than Capte, who I didn't even know I was in a war with.
Jay, you made it personal after you went after me when you was over in Doom's podcast, and I kept the receipts, dog.
Capte, one thing about Capte, he never forgets.
Jay,
listen, Tone still owes me a copy of Ragnarok. He got it till Christmas.
I'm glad that I made friends with you because I don't have many friends in real life, so I'm glad.
Jay, me and you are going to be in a war until you get rid of that god awful T-shirt for the worst wrestler in the world.
And on that note, I am going to love every second of clicking this.
Hold on, I was thinking
you better make it good.
Yeah, I was going to. I was going to say, first of all, I am incredibly thankful that y'all allowed me to come on the show. With that being said, if there's one thing that I've also learned watching the two of y'all, and I really approve of this or like this, is if you have questions about a game, ask people who are genuinely like Jay, like Sadot. They're just gamers. Don't go on to people like, and I'm just going to throw out a name here. Don't go on to people like Endymion who are there and they're just trying to churn out content because, like you told me the other night, Sadot, they're just trying to make rent. They don't care about the product.
Rent is due.
And I've learned that, it's like genuinely 9 times out of 10, You just got to trust your own opinion. If it looks interesting to you, play it. Worst that happens is you go, okay, that wasn't for me.
Well, you know what? I had a lot of preconceived notions about Travis, mainly because of just talking to him
My anime takes.
His truly terrible takes. The worst anime takes I've ever seen in my life. But Travis is a much better person on camera than he is in chat.
I might disagree. I don't know that I like either version.
In all seriousness, Jay, I really don't hate Punk as much as people think I do. My main hatred for him literally came from the fact that one of my friends stood in line waiting for him for 6 hours, and then 2 people before him, he was like, okay, guys, I got to go inside now. And I was like,
oof.
But I mean, sometimes those are just the break. You know what I mean?
True. I mean, he's just doing his job. I get it.
And also, you probably deserved it. Let's be honest.
But all right, yeah. And if y'all ever need a third or whatever, you know,
if you weren't white, I would definitely consider you a third.
Hey, listen, if you want to bring me up here anytime, I'm always available, though.
I am also out because you're white.
High Ruler is already our designated white, and he's better because he's Canadian. So
only white person allowed, you know.
I could be your white guy that actually has hair, Sadot.
Oh, that's a High Ruler joke. Okay.
I mean,
it was.
Jay thought he took a straight there. He's like, wait a second, hold on.
I just know you have hair.
Jay's gonna have an issue.
I love this place too much.
I mean, if the hymns fits, wear it. I mean,
all right.
I love this place too much.
One more question. I got one more.
All right, real quick.
Okay,
David, tell me how to get us out of here.
Well, since like I said, how I'm a YouTuber, if I put in my link, can you guys subscribe to me? That will mean the world.
We'll allow it.
We'll allow it this one time. But your channel better be good.
Sadot's going to be in your comment section critiquing every video.
I will be harshly judging every video.
Better be a channel.
Sorry, you better upload a video right now.
Okay,
we'll call it Super News in under 30 seconds.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you for inviting me.
Take it easy, Swag.
We'll see you, Swag.
Take it easy, Travis.
Jay, you're allowed to do the honors.
All right, Travis. Go fuck yourself.
Cap.
Go fuck yourself.
That was just unnecessary.
I didn't know that we were at war with each other.
I mean,
I'm kidding. I'm not. Travis and
you did know.
And Swag, you were all great. So thank you so much. We do appreciate you. All three of you brought like great things to the show. Now Kevin, we'll see if we can finally connect with him. I'll post the link again in chat if anybody else is looking to get in.
While we wait for Kevin, can I pick Miller's brain on the Chinese technical test?
Oh, sure.
What were you thinking? Like, what are some of the more surprising changes? Because I saw someone tweet a bunch of balance changes, apparently that you tested on stream. Is there anything that you found surprising from like the Chinese technical test to the last test for some of the heroes?
Well, I can tell you a really weird one. Well, okay, I'll give you a balanced one and a non-balanced one.
Sure.
So like they changed Storm's passive around a little bit. But it was like pretty minute changes. I think what they did was they decoupled because like I still haven't found every number, so there's a hint of speculation in here, even though I am working off of like data. I think what they did was they decoupled the buffs from the passive from like what she gives herself and what she gives everyone else. So I think now those numbers are different. Maybe they always were and they were just put somewhere else. But they, in addition to changing the numbers that she gives herself, so they reduced the amount of speed she gives herself in like the wind form of the passive. And then they increased the amount of attack buff she gives herself in the like a thunder passive. And then the speed and attack that she gives her allies in both of those, not the enhanced version with the E, I think it is, just like the neutral version, massively reduced from that. Massively. Like, I think the speed buff that she gives herself is like 16% naturally. And then if you enhance it, it goes up to 50%. But for everyone else, it's like 8 and I think 30.
Interesting.
Yeah, which is interesting because it's like at if you think like a team wipe or something, right? And everybody's rushing to the point, like she's going to be outpacing everyone. Like, you know, it's interesting.
Super quick.
I wonder if there's not like specifically like the attack changes too. If there's not some minute like this makes this 1 tap or this makes this 2 tap, and that's sort of game breaking, and people just haven't noticed what exactly that use case is. But yeah. Because a lot of characters didn't get touched, so I find like making a pointed change like that that's sort of minute is interesting. But so then from a non-balancing perspective, pardon?
Nothing for Hawk?
Not that I've seen, but I know I haven't seen everything. But then from a non-balancing perspective, this is a weird one. So I was looking at the localization changes. Because, you know, people were expecting like, oh, you can't show skulls or stuff like that, right? Like specifically like Chinese value sort of based changes. There's a weird one. So the game is rated 16 plus in China. You know, Storm's got like that boob window in her default suit, right? So she's got like a lot of exposed skin. So on the legs, she has tights.
Right.
Like you can see in the exposed skin, it's like kind of gray. The implication is that she has tights on, but on the back and in the boob window, it's like her flesh tone. They added tights to the boob window.
Oh.
Yeah, they changed the skin tone there to match the thigh exposed skin, implying like she has like translucent coverage, which is
so what you're saying is Marvel Rivals went woke.
It did, yeah.
That's what you're telling me.
All right. Crazy. Well, we'll get more into that in a moment, but finally we have Kevin on board, and it looks like we also now have Colin. Welcome, Kevin and Colin. How you doing, Kev? First,
I'm doing pretty good. Yourself?
You know, we're having fun tonight. You know what I mean?
It's a good time.
And how about yourself, Colin? Welcome.
I'm doing all right, folks. How you doing?
We're celebrating 100 episodes of me being stuck talking to Sadot the gamer.
JayShockblast.
I thought you said stuck. I thought you said stuck for a second. I was like, wait a minute.
That's for the after show.
Yeah. I thought you were confusing with your WB board meetings.
Whoa.
I know about the freak offs you get over there with Phil Spencer as well.
Listen. So we've got Miller on. Do either of you have a question for Miller?
The only question was these were like the Suicide Squad days when the controversial happened with Batman getting killed and everything. But no, I'm just at that point I'm just going with the flow with the game. It's still fun though here and there.
Respect.
I just couldn't get into that game. That game just fumbled hard for me.
Well, I mean, listen, there's definitely a lot of things that we all agree they did wrong, and you know, it is what it is. We're just kind of playing out the string at this point.
Yeah, I think I definitely I didn't like some of the character choices. Obviously, the game could have obviously been executed better, but I definitely agree with the amount of money they paid me. I thought that was pretty fair market value for my services. So
yeah, what is your going rate these days?
So let's just say you can get a couple PS5 Pros with that.
Oh, and I bet it's going up now too with the episode milestone.
I don't know if the after show's moving the needle, but the main channel is
let me tell you one thing Sadot taught me, and that is get your paper.
I say this all the time. Get your
I'm very uncomfortable talking about that type of stuff, and in the past I've always just been like, I don't know, whatever you give me. And then I found out some things, and I upped my game.
Yeah, he found out my rate, and and he was like
That's why it's important
you
to
can
tell
do
your
that.
coworkers how much you make. Solidarity in class.
Exact. That's why I was like you don't get what you deserve. You get what you have the leverage to negotiate.
Yeah. So my last project I did, I got what I deserved.
Damn right.
So, yeah.
Create your reality. Have you, so Miller, since we all, one of the reasons we love having you on, besides staring at Prapper the Rapper, is you usually got some tea for us, and we're a little thirsty, Miller. So I was wondering, do you have any beverages you can pour out for the good people of the Aftershow Nation?
Oh, well, it's tough because there's definitely stuff that's like off limits.
Of course.
I know too much now. I'm too close. I have been sort of, a story broke. Can I say that?
If it broke,
okay, I was talking about.
You're too late now.
I have been talking lately about like the next characters coming to Marvel Rivals.
Right.
Oh. Because I put out a pretty long list of characters that are like in the works.
You did.
But it's a longer list. Like I think there's still like 11 unannounced, or maybe 12. And so it's especially when I know specifically, like for example, the Fantastic Four characters are not this year; they are next year. For example, it becomes like, okay, well then who is this year? Like who can we expect? And I'm pretty comfortable saying they've been teasing Hydra Erebus Base as a map.
Right.
And I don't think it would make a lot of sense to do like the characters whose storyline really revolves around Hydra Erebus Base in a following season, so to speak. So I think you can pretty reasonably look at Black Widow, Hawkeye, and Ultron as being in like the very close section of that list.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All those. Of course, they've also been teasing Moon Knight as well.
He's a lock for sure, and then definitely for launch as well.
For sure.
It's interesting. I mean, the game was slated to launch a little later on, and the demand was so overwhelming that plans have changed, and they've pushed that release schedule forward. But as a result, their initial plan for like, okay, let's launch with this amount of content, they don't have enough time to get there. So it's what we might have come into in an open beta, we're now coming into in launch.
That's interesting. So effectively, because of the demand, they're giving us an earlier launch rather than an open beta.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, literally. In speaking to people in the know about the whole Steam Next Fest situation, that's literally exactly what the conversation was behind, like, do we do an open beta or not? Because it diverts resources away from preparing for launch, and they're real all hands on deck right now getting ready for that.
Can I ask a dumb question from someone who doesn't really follow this game like really that
Sure.
closely? Is there how do I want to phrase this without putting anyone in jeopardy? Is there a range of characters we could expect within the first, say, 3 months after launch? So, I think everyone does expect Moon Knight at launch or shortly thereafter. Is there like a certain amount of characters you'd safely say like, oh, like maybe 5, maybe 6, like you could expect by like March?
I do know who the game was going to launch with, but I don't think that all of those will make launch now. As a result, I think those characters that don't quite make it would then be the first couple up and occupy the slots that you're referring to.
Gotcha.
But I don't know where that line is. My anticipation, just from looking at what little inkling I have into the pace of their development, I think what they're doing is sort of getting very stacked on characters that are farther along, so that they can have a very extreme sort of release cadence. Year one, and a lot of live service games do that, where they really front load that pipeline before you really see sort of a naked sense of, okay, they're caught up, as it were, and so this is how fast they can get a character out, like one at a time, you know. So I think we could settle into a character a season, but how long is it going to take us to get there where they can afford to push 2 or 3 a season? You know what I mean? It's hard to say, but I think at the very least, this first year is going to be a lot. Like if I look at, perfect example, the Fantastic Four, we're definitely getting all of them next year, in my opinion. Ooh. Do I think that's like a sustainable pace on top of all the other content? Year 3, I don't. But year 1, yeah, it's going to be crazy times.
Do we have an idea? Because I'm sure all of us know, like, what really stunk Marvel's Avengers was not having enough skins to buy. Well, good skins to buy. Do we know, like, or can you speak to what kind of cadence we could expect for cosmetics? Like, is there anything to point towards, like, you know, because like I'm assuming with a roster of like 50, 60 characters at some point, you know, what we see in Overwatch right now is that like some characters are thrown to the wayside, right? Like, so they focus on like the 5 or 6 characters, and then everyone else is fucking forgotten about. Is there anything to point towards like certain characters being prioritized in skins, or, you know, like what do you foresee there?
Yeah. Are we going to get a Suicide Squad situation? Is what he's
I mean, it's hard to say. Like, I think Overwatch is the perfect example. Is you reach a roster size where it's like you can't drop a skin for everyone. You know what I mean? Like, I think Suicide Squad really pushed that line in like a ridiculous direction where it's like, okay, we have 5 characters, someone's got to get cut. It's like, wait, what? Like, you only have 5. Like, we're talking what? Like, but and
it was obviously the inferior Captain Boomerang.
Well, I mean, they really saved the best for last with that. Holy crap.
The Miller skin.
Definitely the Miller skin.
But I mean,
Miller, real quick, what rank it? What do you got? You got shirtless Captain America and Avenger skin with the ab update, or bulge boomer?
See, that's tough. I kind of want to. I mean, I don't want to get you demonetized.
Oh, please. I'll make it even harder. Pun intended. Add Thor on top. Add Beach Thor on top of that.
Oh, Beach Thor. Okay, Beach Thor might have them beat. Beach Thor was a moment. Beach Thor was a cultural reset. Yeah. I'm gonna give that to Beach Thor, but honorable mention, I think, for the bulge Captain America. I mean the bulge Captain Boomerang. Sorry. I'm gonna this is it's not a question I get very often.
Well, you know,
Miller is flustered.
we this is exactly what I was hoping for, but we when we have our guests on, we like to cater to them, you know, make them feel
right.
Make them feel part of the conversation.
So before we go too much further, we do have Kevin and Colin here. Anything that you guys wanted to ask anyone or add or anything?
Yeah, I just had really like 2 questions. One was Miller, I tweeted a long time ago, so it was just if a certain X-Men characters without, you know, obviously you getting DMCA, a certain X-Men character would be added to the game or up in the air.
Wait, were you talking about Gambit?
No, like Wolverine.
Oh,
big character.
I don't think it's out of the question that Wolverine might come this year. I'll just say that. You're definitely going to get Wolverine sooner than later. I think he'd be like, when I say like, okay, I know who they were going to launch with. I don't think they're not quite going to make that amount of content with this faster release pace. If one of them had to get cut, I think, and be the first deal, like post-launch character, I think Wolverine would be the perfect choice. That's just speculation in terms of like who is or is not making launch, which you can read between the lines as far as schedule there goes for Wolverine. But you know, if you look at Suicide Squad, I always said Joker's like the perfect choice for first post-launch character because it really sets the stage. like the most popular DC villain of all time.
Yep.
Like really hit the ground running. I think a Wolverine scenario there would be perfect. But I think he's one of those characters too that's just such a staple that he makes sense for launch as well. Yeah, you're gonna get Wolverine definitely sooner than later. Oh yes.
Thank you for that. That was awesome, by the way. The second question was, so obviously I'm not gonna go back to this Spider-Man because we talked so many times about the DLC and stuff, but now it's like all hands on deck with Wolverine. So we're agreeing earlier with you, Sadot, is it more like 80% 2026, and this is like a slight 25% chance 2025. Now I know that they said it's gonna be like a kind of like a God of War, like not fully open world, but like semi. So like, because I don't know if they're related to the first one or the second one. I only played the first one, not the second one, so I don't know if it's like, I don't know. For example, like they give Wolverine in like a town or something, just that area, or I don't know if it's gonna be smaller than that. I don't know. That's why if you got any info.
Yeah. So Miller, do you have any inside stuff before I go into it?
The tiniest bit. I mean, I did catch. I'm not gonna lie. I did watch a lot of the content that like came out of the data breach.
Right.
Like I couldn't resist.
Of course.
Even if I wasn't like repeating it. I think their approach to semi-open world makes sense. And it still seems like fairly open. I'm curious to see like the final asset fidelity, because so much of that was like really, really early days.
Yeah. I think the primary difference is that like the way Spider-Man, for example, is designed is that you have this really giant sandbox. You have New York, you have these. And in Spider-Man 2, you have them broken down into separate islands, but it's all just one continuous giant map. There's no loading into any of these areas. And the difference between that and say like a God of War Ragnarok or a God of War 2018 is that it's a lot more, shall we say, scripted, and rather than you just being kind of just one giant area where you're just kind of moving around freely, seamlessly, it'll be like maybe some relatively decently sized area. Like maybe they'll put you in a jungle here or a town here, but it's not just going to be this one giant map where you're just exploring and doing all these side quests. It's going to be like, okay, this story mission, you got to be in this area, and you're going to be able to explore stuff in here, and then a different part of the story will cause you to go indoors or go to this other map. It won't just be this one giant continuous open space.
Okay. Yeah, so kind of like Marvel's Avengers a little bit.
I mean, if you imagine the biomes to be a lot more dense, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not just like sprawling fields with robots.
Yeah, especially in Avengers, because the maps were big. But all the fights took place in like this one tiny area. It's like of every map, so it's like you just run in all, you get all this open space for like 5 minutes, and then every combat encounter is just in this one enclosed area, closed off area. Whereas Spider-Man 2, it's an alive actual city, so there's like dynamic stuff going on all over the place. It's definitely going to be more focused in Wolverine.
Okay.
Not even like Ghost. Ghost was like also a giant open world game.
Yeah. Sorry, my friend wanted me to ask you guys because he follows you too. So this is this is going back to the EA when they were doing Battlefront and stuff.
Oh,
but just like on your guys, just on your guys' opinion. But so I guess like right after Scarif, they were doing the map. I guess Adventress and Ahsoka was supposed to come out, but I guess they stopped because they wanted to make, I think it was Star Wars Squadrons, but I guess that game didn't do do too good, and it was like there was a big. Well, obviously the Star Wars toxic wasn't too happy about that, because when that happened, I was just a little disappointed, because it was like I felt like Battlefront 2 was going good, but when they stopped that to make Squadrons, I'm like, oh, we were this close, because I guess they had everything ready, and these 2 characters were supposed to be like the last DLC for that game, but they just quit right after that to go to Squadrons, and I guess that game didn't do good, and within like a month or something.
Squadron is a cursed name to me. I hate that game. Oh.
It's funny because I liked the battling in Battlefront, like the space battles and stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't like Squadrons as much as I thought I would.
Squadrons was like a very hardcore PvP experience. Like I guess the single player was there, but like that was super hardcore, and I think it scared a lot of people off, because
it was just a mode in Battlefront 2, and they made it into an actual game. Like you just first person, and it's like they just made it into another game. It's like you literally could do that in Battlefront 2. So it's like, what was the point?
Yeah, I think a lot of it was the DICE team that was working on Battlefront. They actually just got cut up and put it to 2042. So like so a lot of them just went to finish up 2042, and and I think a lot of that came down to is the licensing cost. I think Andrew Wilson years later had come out in one of his press bullshit statements, and he was like, oh, we don't want to pay licensing costs anymore, we want to develop our IP from the inside. It's part of the reason they're not calling it FIFA anymore, they call it EA FC or whatever. They wanted to move away from like the licensing, and part of that was to get away from Star Wars, but then obviously now they find themselves in bed with Disney again under Marvel. So,
but even then, there's definitely something they're looking to do, especially as they're getting more into like they've been making a lot of comments and statements about AI and using that for their game development. They canceled the Respawn Mandalorian game. We still haven't heard anything about that, because that original Marvel deal with Disney was for 3 games, but we haven't heard anything about that third one in forever. Even Grubb was digging around for it, but as far as you can tell, they hadn't even picked a hero yet. So it's possible they may have cut that already, or maybe planning to, and see if they can get away with not doing it, because it's definitely clear that EA wants to not pay licensing fees going forward as much as possible.
I actually have a friend of mine who was he worked with the team. I think Battlefront Updates. He's on YouTube as well, Elliot, and he worked with Dennis Bronville, which is one of the designers of the game. And he came out about a year later after the game was done, because of Squadrons, whatever. He said, and they quoted, that they had 2 heroes and 2 maps planned for After Scarif, but they cut it, and it was going to be Ahsoka, it was going to be Ventress, it was going to be Mustafar, and Coruscant. To this day, that pisses me off. It's like we could have gotten those characters and those maps.
True,
2 fan favorite maps.
But and EA, I think EA's whole thing is like, we saw that with Anthem 2.0. Like when EA doesn't see an opportunity to make max profit on something, they're going to fucking cut it. Like their business model is very clearly built on having some money printing live service games, so that they can take some swings on single player stuff and see if that turns out to be anything worth doing. And they're pretty brutal with that stuff.
To that point too, I'm kind of glad EA is also like the boogeyman and like the savior, because I play WRC, which is World Rallycross or whatever. It's like a very small racing game, and EA has actually left that game alone. They were able to release an expansion instead of like another year game or whatever. So I mean, it's kind of like EA is the boogeyman, and then like in some projects, EA is like the guardian angel that will bless you with a continuous game, instead of like doing what they do with their sports games, like F1, for example, where F1 you know, every year you get an F1 game and you get the minimal improvements, and people are like, well, why did I pay $80, right? So it's interesting because, yeah, I guess to the earlier point, like we were talking about EA, and like sometimes EA will do EA things and be the boogeyman for everybody, and then sometimes you're like, oh, I love EA, you know.
I think EA has kind of gotten a bad rap. They've definitely earned it for a lot of stuff, but it feels like a lot of times when I see criticism of EA, it's like reactionary and based entirely on stuff that they did like 6 years ago. Because when you probe deeper, it seems like these people have not played any single player EA games in like forever, or you know, the last EA game they played was Anthem. Like they were, or they're just unaware. Like a lot of them seem surprised when you bring up Jedi Fallen Order or something like that. It's like, yeah, that's like EA. Yeah, they've got FC, they've got Madden, but they aren't nearly as prolific when it comes to, you know, screwing over players as representation. That was definitely past leadership, and they definitely, you know, have their issues, but I feel like for a while people were basically holding up Ubisoft and EA like right together, and now like kind of the reality has caught up, and everyone's just like, oh, Ubisoft was the real villain all along.
Yeah, in some respects, EA will like use their profits from like Madden and FIFA to like subsidize their like single player EA original stuff, which is nice because you get cool projects out of it that you probably wouldn't have otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. I think there was some very clear changes in EA leadership. Obviously, they're still all about that money, but it seems like they're definitely trying to be more efficient, and like kind of keep it so that we're gonna try to do some cool stuff with these projects here, and then when it comes to like what's going to actually make us money, we understand what it is. That's we got our live service stuff. We know that's important, because that, I think I read something like 78% of EA's yearly revenue comes from microtransactions.
It's insane the amount of money people will spend on FIFA, man. FIFA like probably makes more money for EA than like some countries like imports do. It's insane.
Yeah, legitimately.
It's legit like one of the craziest things ever. So
well, it ain't just FIFA, it's also Galaxy of Heroes on the
that too. Yeah, that's on PC now too, right? If you download the
I've been playing that. I've been playing that game since 2015, and I don't wail on it or anything, but just as a Star Wars fan, because there's hardly anything to play out there right now aside from Survivor and Fallen Order, it's sad, but it's fun.
It's interesting too, because you see Galaxy of Heroes and what they do with Star Wars, and then you see it's funny, Jay brought this up to me a couple weeks ago. We were talking in my stream about Strike Force, right? And Strike Force is been around for 8-9 years, Jay, something like that. Longer 7. And now you see they've like introduced like its competitor, right? Like Mystic Mayhem is almost like a Strike Force competitor. And it's almost like they're phasing that out almost. Like in some respects they're not, but like it's tough to look at like the shiny new toy and be like, oh, I want to play this shiny new toy, right? Whereas like Galaxy of Heroes feels like, I don't know if they'll ever do that, because we just don't get Star Wars content like at all legit with our games.
Yeah.
Strike Force was already in trouble though, honestly.
Yeah,
like,
it's been going
this was
downhill.
such a finishing blow for them, because like this year in particular has been rough on Scopely, and they've started like the game, like it's no secret it's monetized out the wazoo.
Yeah.
But like they've now like really like locked free-to-play players out of certain content for like pretty big stretches. It's gone backwards, and a lot of people, I think there were estimates that the player count in the last year has dropped like 15 to 20%.
Jeez.
And it already wasn't huge, so it's like ouch.
I kind of wonder if certain mobile games that aren't like gacha games in respects of like Genshin Impacts or Hoyo games are like finding their breaking point, right? So for example, like I can't imagine Contest of Champions is doing that hot either, right? Like
it just hit 10 years.
10
Can you
years.
believe that?
Yeah.
10
anniversary.
But like to that point, I feel like Kabam has canceled and closed more games up than they've successfully spun up, right? So I feel like the moment Contest of Champions starts faltering, if it already hasn't, that's one quick stumble down the hill,
Well, NetEase is apparently the new
Marvel King.
star. Yeah, they're going to be pumping them out apparently. Maybe because I've been waiting. One thing I've been waiting for is like a honest attempt at like another console and PC Marvel MMO type of feel. At this point, it seems like it'll likely come from NetEase because a while ago we had that attempt by Daybreak to make a Marvel MMO, which
second attempt
ended in absolute failure before it even got off the ground, thankfully. But I'm wondering if this is a sign that people are getting a little more, or maybe they just needed to find the right people to put it together. Because I definitely think there's a market. I obviously, who knows what the fuck DC is doing, but there's definitely a market for like a DC Universe Online 2 type of thing, or another. I see people all the time ask for another Ultimate Alliance or anything. So I'm wondering who is going to pull the trigger on that one.
I would love. Because they were so good with Transformers, like the trilogy they did. And then I don't know where they are right now, but I would love to see them make like Marvel Ultimate Alliance like 4, because I know the third one was on Nintendo Switch, but I would so be down for like a fourth one.
Apparently it's happening. There's been word on the street that the collab with like Nintendo and is it Team Ninja for Ultimate Alliance 3, that they're back and they're doing it again.
Wow.
For the Switch?
Is that a Switch too?
It would be Switch 2. Yeah, this would be like at least a year out.
So, but would it be a Switch 2 exclusive?
Well, what's interesting is the first Ultimate Alliance 3 showed up. It's the only game, as far as I know, that has just been completely dead as part of this. But it was in the NVIDIA leak from a couple years ago, implying that there was some work done on a PC port. Don't know where that ever landed, but as far as like permanent exclusivity, it's hard to say.
Yeah, because
I mean, Nintendo's been like involved in second party-ish projects like that have ended up on PC before, like Daemon X Machina with Marvelous comes to mind. It's hard to say.
Yeah, Nintendo does tend to keep to themselves, but I mean Sony did just recently, they're doing Lego Horizon on Nintendo Switch. Obviously they pointedly said fuck Xbox, but the fact that they're working with Switch on that, perfect timing, makes me wonder, maybe they would consider Ultimate Alliance 4 or something for
well, it's funny that you brought up actually who's going to do the MMO, because I think it could still end up being the same person. Jack Emmert was the head of, I don't know if he was the head of the studio at the time, but he was the lead on the original Marvel Universe Online concept. And then also on the second attempt at it, where apparently like Sony wanted to throw some money in or something. When that project fell apart, he got poached by NetEase.
Whoa.
And and now he's heading up a studio with NetEase Games. That's like based in Austin, Texas, I think still. And I think they're doing right now support work on I don't know if it's like PUBG Mobile or something like that. But I'm very curious because he's I want to do a Marvel MMO guy.
Yeah.
And now he works for NetEase. What a funny coincidence.
That is a very interesting coincidence, Mr. Ross.
Got that money backs.
That does sound sounds like some dots were connected there. I don't know if that's a coincidence.
I wonder if it's a coincidence that the first thing I heard when I put my headphones back on was "fuck Xbox."
I mean that was all we were talking about before you gave. That was actually perfect. It's actually very good. Yeah, I was simply talking about how Sony, because we were talking about potentially a new Ultimate Alliance coming out on the Switch too, and I was wondering if this was something that Sony and Nintendo maybe might be working together again, because for Lego Horizon they pointedly decided to also release that one on the Switch, but obviously fuck Xbox on that one. This is definitely interesting because it feels like NetEase. Obviously, they apart from that game closure, that crazy game closure they had recently, they seem to be really kind of picking up steam. They're putting out. They got a lot of interesting games potentially coming out. Besides Rivals, they got Where Winds Meet, which looks like that might potentially be a hit for them. They got the new mobile Marvel game. If they
everybody's playing Fragpunk, trying that out. And then I recently played another NetEase game, which is under NDA, which I actually thought was pretty fun.
I actually played Fragpunk with the devs at Summer Game Fest.
Oh,
it's interesting. Like, it's different. I mean, it's a card game. I mean, not really a card game, but it does have card elements to it, which was certainly interesting. Yeah, I don't know, because there's no like known IP behind it. I worry a little bit, but who knows?
Yeah, Mike.
It's very polished. I'll give it that.
Yeah, I did feel like it was very polished. That was something I noticed. That was also very unique because there were like 2 devs there and an interpreter, because they were very Japanese and did not speak English. So it was really interesting having to like go in between. I haven't really had to do that like any of these things before. So that was one of my big things I remember from that. But I thought it was pretty cool. It got announced the next day at the Xbox showcase. So like when I played it, it was like still not even announced. So, and I actually do agree with this.
Crazy.
I agree with this. The one thing about the Spine game, I know something about watching the gameplay. The motion capture was obviously sick. They've got some cool stuff in there, but I don't know, something about the fluidity of the animation still looks a little janky to me. So I'm wondering if that'll potentially impact the game. Because conceptually, I like the idea. Obviously, honestly, they probably should have just did an equilibrium game, but no, I like the idea of a gun fu game. That's pretty cool. It might work out.
I really hope this game happens. If again, we're going with another Batman game. I wish it was Batman Beyond, but if it ain't Batman Beyond, it got to be Batman Ninja. It's got to happen. Come on.
So Jay memes about this, but if we were getting a Batman Ninja that's more like the actual like movie that they advertised that. I was definitely interested. It's because it's basically like an anime Justice League. League.
Kind of like a Ghost of Tsushima type. That'd be awesome.
We are getting a new Batman game.
Yes, sir.
Very, very soon.
Is that by Rocksteady or is that by a different company?
That's Camouflage. It's by Camouflage. They did the Iron Man VR game.
Oh, okay, I got you.
It'll be badass.
Yeah, it's one of the highly anticipated.
You haven't even opened it yet, Jay.
DC video games. I mean, which kind of tells you everything you need to know. Their biggest, DC's biggest releases this year were Suicide Squad and a VR exclusive Batman game.
That VR game does have Roger Craig Smith, Troy Baker, Elijah Wood, and my God, the features that are packed into that game just off the 45 minutes. There's a lot.
It's a shame that only like less than 1 million people even own the hardware for this hour and 30-minute game.
Wait, are we talking about Arkham Shadow is an hour and a half?
No. 15 hours.
I'm just memeing.
Well, no, because Batman VR was very short.
Yeah.
I borrowed my friend's PSVR for that, and I did it in like, I don't know, a night.
No. That one had a messed up cliffhanger, but if I remember correctly, like the ending for that game was like a really crazy cliffhanger.
Yeah, I have somebody call. I think it might have been Colin that called me out on it. Somebody called me out on not even opening it yet. I picked it up the day it came out, brought it home, and then like I had my situation with Thor, and
It's so easy to set up.
Oh, that's good. I just it was a weird week.
Yeah. What Jay's trying to say is that he can still return it since it's sealed. So
no, I'm gonna just see it through. I mean, I could.
I bought a Quest 2. I may eventually get a Quest 3, but I don't know. I'm trying to. I was looking at it. I was like, do I want to buy a Quest 3 just to make Arkham Shadow content? Probably
not just that.
That's literally all.
Vader Immortal.
I mean, that's literally all I would be doing it for.
Yeah.
I just bought not too long ago, and it's like they're like, all right, yeah, we're making a game for the third one. It's like, man.
I got the Quest 2 and I used it for like an hour and I haven't picked it up since.
I'll say this. So the team that they were talking to on Batman Arkham Videos, their YouTube channel, they said this game is very much in the bones of Arkham Asylum. And like inverted takedowns, you can do run and slide and knock floor grates out. You can do that. Multiple batarangs. Apparently, because I guess they're doing the Batman where he takes the batarang off his chest and you throw it. It's really crazy in what they're doing because just what the team has said this game is like 10 to 15 hours long is very much how long about Asylum was. It's about 15, 20 hours.
Yeah, that's very good for VR. That's an interesting question because I'm not an expert in VR. I also have good eyes. I know they have VR for people who generally have bad eyesight who need glasses.
Oh yeah, they have spacers for it.
Yeah, but I don't know if that applies.
Yeah, you can get like prescription lenses.
Yeah.
But
I still got to be
as far as like one eye goes, yeah, I think you could do it with one eye. I mean, I don't know if there's like maybe like native support from like PC VR to like disable one of like half of the output completely, which would probably save a lot of overhead on like visual rendering and stuff, meaning you could do it on cheaper hardware. Yeah, it's not a common question, but I'm sure there's a million solutions out there. The thing I love so much about the VR community too is like they've thought of everything, they've done everything. There's mods and software for everything you could imagine that like is genuinely really good. Like they push the envelope so consistently that yeah, I'm sure there's something for you. Oh yes, but as far as like standalone stuff goes, like the Quest, it's hard to say because it's very much built for like the average consumer. It's like the iPhone of headsets, you know, like there's like one use case, and if you don't fit that, too bad. But if you're like a PC guy, oh, I'm sure there's a million things for you.
Well, we'll see how it goes. I was not a fan of PSVR. I fogged up the lenses super easy, so I'm hoping that's not the case with this.
I like the idea of VR, but I don't know. I'm just waiting for the quality because when I pick up a VR, as soon as I see like blurry, like or if it's like or if we're in like 480, it looks like I'm looking at everything in 480. It like immediately just takes me out of it. Like I can't get immersed.
I'll say for me playing like Vader Immortal, like just the lightsaber dojo and stuff, just fooling around, even just standing still or sitting, it's graphically I'm looking at a lightsaber hilt that's like pure, like just like what you would hold in real life. It's like Jesus Christ, there's a lot of detail, and just like filing things around. Wasn't fogging up any lenses or anything because they have internal. Because I know like the piece that you take off for the to put on the spacer, you can replace that with vented ones where you can. It'll have more light shine through, of course, but it will breathe more. But there's also built-in fans on top of it and around it.
I never had problems with fogging. It was just always to me like a quality thing. Like
Right,
like if I can't see enough things in like HD or anything like
Mhm.
that, I like taking it out. Like I know as soon as I get a headset and like everything is like 4K, I'm just gonna be that's just gonna be my life now. but until then, I'll stick with my PS5.
I know Miller's gonna try doing a stream of Arkham Shadow from what he was saying a few days ago.
Yeah, you know me, I love VR.
Oh,
And
yeah,
like a new VR killer app, especially in like the comic book space. Oh, I'm all in.
I know Jay's gonna try something, but I don't know what format he's gonna do that in.
I'm not going to stream it. I'll just try to record videos.
I can help you with that if you run into trouble.
Oh, perfect.
The Miller's expert.
Yeah, I don't know exactly.
What I just did.
I don't want to. There's only I'm old school. I'm a make a video guy.
Mhm.
The stuff that I like to stream is usually just going to be like something that's live and action,
Fortnite.
you know. Yeah, like
Yeah.
a Fortnite or
Yeah,
you know,
that's
something that
fair.
fits into not an episode kind of thing.
Yeah, I will say, major note: make sure you have a lot of space, just like in your room and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Now, if Camouflage wants to they want to throw me a Quest 3, I'll definitely make some content out of it. Actually had a chance. Like they actually offered. I got an offer to fly out over to Gamescom to go for that studio visit, but I didn't have a passport, so
I think so. I think a mutual of ours said they had an invite too. First name La, last name. I'll let you fill the blank in on there. But yeah, it seems
Caboose
like
won.
Caboose went. Yeah, so it seems like they did reach out to a bunch of people.
Yeah,
a lot of
this
people.
week I actually had to turn down an opportunity for the second time ever. I just sensed Thor has not been doing great, and I did not. So last week I was supposed to go to New York for Indiana Jones, and that leg got canceled, and they offered for me to go to San Francisco or LA to do it there. And I know that a lot of people have been posting that they got to go and everything.
Yeah.
I was this close to going to San Francisco, but for me to do that, I would have had to travel Monday. The event was Tuesday, and then travel back on Wednesday, losing 3 hours. And I could not commit to 3 days of travel because that would have required us to leave Thor and Evie alone for long periods of time, which Thor especially I can't do.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah, and then Thursday he had a vet appointment, and on the way to the vet appointment he just collapsed in my back seat and like fell into where your legs go and was like stuck like this, like on his back, and it was terrifying. Like that was really, really bad. So it sucks, but like, you know, life is life, and you know, I would have loved to have gone. I always love to see Cammy.
Yep.
But yeah, man, the game looks good, and it looks like everybody had a good time. But it's the only other time this happened. I was in LA for the Mortal Kombat 11 reveal, and while I was flying back that day, but my flight wasn't until noon Pacific. So I went down to the strip and I was just kind of walking around early before I had to leave to the airport. And I found this like big thing being set up for the Lego movie. Might have been, the Lego movie. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. That's too bad I'm leaving. I would like to see what this is. So I fly back. And the next day, I'm at lunch with my friend Mark, and I get a phone call, and it's WB, and they're like, "Hey, I know this is last second, but the world premiere for the Lego movie is tomorrow, and we were wondering if you could get to the airport, and we can get you out for it." And I'm like, "I was literally in LA yesterday. You could have just kept me there." And I'm like, I'm not doing. I don't want to do that flight 2 more times. I'm sorry. It's a long flight, man.
Should take your helicopter.
Yeah, right. Like Boston to LA is a long flight. And I don't want to sound unappreciative, but it's just a long flight to have to do 4 times a week.
It's crazy when they had Chris Pratt, like it was like a YouTube ad. It was crazy. I don't know if any other movie did that, but they were like, they told him, no, don't skip the ad. You were literally gonna play the whole movie in this ad right now. That was crazy. I don't remember I'd be doing that.
I've seen something like that before.
Yeah. It feels like YouTube ads now, like if you're watching on ad free, are basically movies. Like they're bro. Because when I'm on my computer, I don't have to worry about YouTube ads. But when I'm watching like on my TV downstairs, when I'll just be chilling, that's like the raw YouTube experience. And holy fuck, the ads have got worse. So much worse. Like I'll be watching like a 20-minute video, and I'll get like a full 1 minute ad, and I'm like, I'm like, hold up, let me so either sometimes I'll just bounce out the app altogether, but sometimes I'll try to finesse stuff. Like I'll be like for one video, I was like, okay, because sometimes if you back out and go back into the video, it won't show you an ad. But apparently they caught on, because I was trying to watch this one video and it was like, all right, 50-second ad. I was like, well, fuck that. Let me back out. Came back in, 40-second ad. All right. I was like, all right, let me keep going. 1 minute. I'm like, fuck.
The worst thing that ever happened to me in the history of watching Twitch was the time that I asked High Ruler a question on one of his streams, and then immediately got hit with an ad. So like realized I had a Amazon Prime. So I'm like, oh, let me just give him my Prime. Still made me watch the ad. Reloaded the window. Still made me watch the ad. What the fuck? The one time I ever want to hear High Ruler answer a question.
And you can't do it.
And I don't even remember what it was anymore. So it
was probably something really like thought provoking, and I probably gave you like the deepest answer you could have ever.
It was probably the dumbest shit. It was probably like,
and I still probably gave you the deepest answer you could ever hope for.
There's a way on YouTube, actually. My friend just told me it's like the little simple eye icon near the time, and you click it and you just go block ad. It'll bring you like right back to the video. That's what I've been doing now, and it works like all the time.
I don't mind ads because I know it's how we all make our living.
Yeah.
And I try to watch, I don't mind, like any other time I wouldn't have minded. It just was funny. It feels like anytime I'm on Twitch, the second I ask a question, I get hit with an ad.
Twitch is really bad with their ads.
Yeah, and they're long. It's like 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think it speaks to their profitability, and like that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
But like they're trying to be profitable, and I don't think they are still.
Yeah.
And I think there's been rumors swirling that Amazon would cut them, and I think at one point Amazon was looking for suitors. But the problem with either Twitch being cut from Amazon or like trying to get someone to buy is like hosting live video is fucking expensive.
Extremely.
So it's one of those things where you've kind of made the bed. And like Twitch is still kind of something nice to have for Amazon to say like, oh, we're like the market leader in live video for this kind of content, but it's fucking hard to be profitable in that space.
It's definitely hard to watch a Twitch stream that you're not subscribed to. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and it's what I always tell people. You're better off if you watch any amount of Twitch. You're better off just getting Twitch Turbo and then chip in whatever content creator like $5 somehow through a different means, right? Because they're not going to get the full $5 anyways. So. But there's ways around it, obviously, but yeah, sometimes watching on Twitch is tough.
Well, not only that, but the quality is terrible sometimes.
Yeah, and that speaks to what they're doing, Miller might remember more of this, but like the way they do their encoding now, and I think for certain people, you can do the encoding on your own machine and send it to Twitch. Like, and that speaks to, once again, to the profitability and like how expensive it is to encode video. But yeah, it's I remember the days of Twitch of 2011, you know, and even speaking of, you know, as years have gone by, it just, you know, I think the Amazon acquisition has been good in some respects, but of course, you know, you got to chase the almighty dollar in certain respects to that. And
yeah, that's why you bring
part,
back
part of that.
That's why you bring back Sneeko, you know?
Oh,
Like when-
fuck, yeah.
Like when I watch someone like Queso, like he has his ad set for a limit of, like, he can only do a run it once an hour. When I'm watching somebody like Cypher PK, it's like every 5 freaking minutes. Like, okay, dude, we get it. You need money, but we want to watch your stuff, not watch companies' ads and ads and ads and ads. We just
Well, I'll tell you, like on Twitch, there's two kinds of ads. There's like mid rolls and pre rolls.
Mhm.
Pre rolls is like you click it and you get an ad before you watch. Mid rolls is you're watching and an ad will randomly start. So most streamers, there's statistics out there that like 25% of viewers will immediately click off if they have a pre roll ad.
Yeah.
So, or like maybe it's like only 25% will stick around, or it's like really, it's a crazy statistic.
You guys are
So it's
right.
like the goal for streamers on Twitch especially is to not have a pre-roll ad. And Twitch will allow you to do that if you run a certain amount of mid-roll ads. And so it's always like the fight between those two. I like had for a long time like an ad block command on my Twitch where I was like teaching people how to like install ad blocks that work on Twitch. I was like, this is gonna really bite me in the ass if I ever apply for partner. But I mean, there's ways around it everywhere. But Twitch's situation is like mostly so out of. I now just say fuck it and I take the pre-roll ads because I think the mid-roll experience is just terrible. And it's like if you're gonna watch me, sit through the 15-second ad and then you're just good. You know, I think that's a better trade.
Yeah, because it can be annoying, you know, when you drop on a pre-roll, but it's definitely preferable to, you know, have to wait 15 seconds to get into a stream than just be watching a stream and then right before something High Ruler is about to say something important, you get 6 ads in a row.
Yeah. I mean, there are streamers out there there are streamers out there that are so smart and will like literally take a break every hour while the ad's going, so you're not missing anything. Like, and then they'll come back and then they're like good for an hour with no ads. But I mean, like, it's tough, especially when you're gaming, to like coordinate it like that. I think it's easier in sort of this type of content where like, you know, you have a little more options in terms of what you're doing. Like if I'm playing a game and like the match is going long, you know, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, abandon your team.
I remember when so many articles came out. I don't know if they're still thinking about this, but I don't know. It was a while ago, but I guess developers were starting to think to put ads in video games. I'm like, that's going to be so bad.
No. It's already happening.
I think there are ways you can do that are intelligent. Like I think of Grand Theft Auto, for example. Okay, and I really and truly believe there's no reason they shouldn't do something like this. Like you have all these fake companies in the game, just get real companies. Spider-Man did it. You got a Warby Parker in the game. I think there's an Adidas store.
Well, the reason I think that that's not so popular anymore is because like around like the PS1 like to Dreamcast era, there were a lot of games that did that are now forever stuck there because they're like associated with these real brands that will not renegotiate with them, and they're not legally allowed to bring that game back for sale anymore.
Right, and I get that, and that's kind of what's happening with like all those Marvel games and the Transformer games and, you know, Deadpool and whatever. Like I get that, but like that you obviously negotiate that aspect in advance. But like a game like Grand Theft Auto, theoretically, you're gonna have a living game that's gonna be online forever. You just patch it out, you know, like if it comes down to a rights issue. But like instead of having, you know, whatever their in-game gas station is, you've got like an actual Shell station, or you have McDonald's in the game. Like, I feel like that would be a big thing for a lot of these studios. And like I said, we saw it in Spider-Man 2. They had the Warby Parker. I don't know if that sold any glasses for them. I mean, I know it got Sadot a free pair.
It did.
But actually, I hate Warby Parker because they took the building that my GameStop was in, and I heard that it was kind of shady the way it happened. So,
get them.
Yeah. Anyway,
I mean, us 2K players already know about in-game ads because we go to the Gatorade Performance Center to get our energy up before we play our one online game. So
and then we get on our go-kart and maybe ride up to the Nike store.
And then we play our low gravity basketball.
maybe pick up an OVO shirt on the way.
Yes.
OVO?
We can put our turn signals on in the game. That'd be a massive upgrade.
So 2K, the 2K is actually diabolical with their, because it's not even just their normal like product placement bullshit, which is whatever. Like when you boot up the game, immediate, like if there's like what I have to do is, like, if I know I usually am booting up my career immediately, I have to immediately, as soon as it loads, hit the X to go to my career, because if I wait 2 or 3 seconds, a fucking ad's going to pop up to buy the season pass and or go into my team, which is their literally a casino, but actually worse. And they have it set up in a way that if you hit X at the wrong time, because of how they structure that ad, it'll take you to the checkout of the PlayStation store for the because this has happened before. Like I didn't immediately press X, and then I pressed X right as it popped up, and it said, "Oh, you want to spend $20 on this season?" I fucking don't.
Oh my god, let me tell you what happened to me the other day. I hate the PlayStation Store, man. Like, remember when Lego Harry Potter collection came out?
Yes.
You were supposed to get a discount if you already owned it on PS4, but it's only if it's digital, and I didn't realize that. So I put my disc in the console, and I went, and it didn't show a discount. So I'm like, all right, let me add it to the cart. And it still didn't give me a discount. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Went over to Xbox. The discount was there. So I just did that. So didn't think of it again for the 2 weeks since then. Then yesterday I get back from New York and I'm like, all right, I want to get that Bob Ross DLC. Add the Bob Ross and just X right through it. And as I'm completing my purchase, I see that the Lego Harry Potter game is still in my fucking cart 2 weeks later. What the fuck is that shit?
Skill issue?
I mean, no. Why would that even be a thing?
I mean, like, did you remove it from your cart, Jay? Maybe you were.
Why would it not automatically remove itself after, like, I don't know, let's say a week?
Because it's the economy, Jay. There are people who maybe they put it in the cart, maybe they put a game in their cart, and because they think they can buy it, but then they check their account, they don't have enough, so they run out, spend a couple weeks, doing some OF, selling some pills, and then they come back when a couple weeks later with their account full, and then they want the convenience of being able to buy their Lego Harry Potter collection.
Dude, I don't even think Amazon does that shit, man. Like, I think on Xbox, when you leave the store, your cart just empties.
See,
I don't know.
I think that was Xbox's way. Sorry, I think that was Xbox's way of saying, "Are you sure that he doesn't want to buy this? We'll just slide that right in."
Really sure you want to buy this?
Are you sure?
So fortunately, I knew do not install.
Correct.
And I was able to get. I will say, PlayStation handled it very quickly. That they just refunded it, but like, still, it's so stupid. Like, if I did not buy the game in that moment in time, don't leave it there. to like try to con me into like accidentally buying it.
No.
Is it a con if you put it in your cart?
Yes.
Right.
How dare you charge me for the game that I put in my shopping cart with the intention of buying?
Why is even a shopping cart? Why do we have a cart? Okay. Do people go through the PlayStation store and say, "Yep, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that.
Yes.
I'm gonna get that."
Unironically, yeah.
Yeah.
Like when there's like a big sale, I've been known to drop like $200-$300. Yeah, and like I'll just add shit to cart.
I just don't understand why you wouldn't just like, okay, here we go. All right, purchase done.
Because
purchase done.
Yeah, I guess it's convenience where everything can be together, and you know,
I don't know.
Yeah, not everyone is like you, Jay, where they just want to complete transactions just one at a time.
I just
like a senior.
Jay's like, why can't you pay in cash anymore? What's that about?
I back in my day, I used to pay for video games with a check.
This is the only cash that I have. It's a $2 bill from Bermuda.
Oh, that's cute, actually. I like vertical money. Isn't that fun?
Yeah, it's weird. I wish it was in better shape, but like, it was the last day that we were there, and it was the. They got like Poseidon on it.
It looks legitimately like a high school art student did that in class. Like they cut out some paper.
That island is depressing.
Just made it crayon.
That island is depressing. I would not be surprised if that's what it actually was.
Yeah, it's like an island version of Atlantic City.
So I have a question for all of you guys.
Okay.
Now, so this is going to be something you really have to think hard about.
It's not.
Oh, I don't do a lot of that.
So we have a bunch of big games coming out next year, right? We have GTA 6,
I'm a genius. This is going to be easy.
And what else is coming out? What else is it? But anyway, between Ghost of Yotei, GTA 6, and Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is one I'm personally looking forward to. And let's see. Anyway, between those three games, if you can have one of those three games arrive by the time Marvel Rivals comes out to give them some competition, even though it's going to be free, which one would you rather have now?
Yotei.
Ghost of Yotei.
Yotei.
How's that a hard question? Like I didn't even consider it. It's like Assassin's Creed Shadows isn't even like a top open world game that I'm even considering next year. Like you could have said Monster Hunter Wilds. You could have said
Dynasty Warriors Origins.
You could have said Crimson Desert, which looks like the craziest game potentially of the year.
No, I'm excited for Shadows.
There's a Mafia. There's a new Borderlands coming out.
I couldn't get into Borderlands, honestly.
There's this one definitely is something High Ruler's probably going to play, which I hope he doesn't curse. But that Archmage game is like their really cool, stylish overall action RPG that also has like 12-player rage or something crazy. Like that game was unbelievable.
No. I'm gonna let you be disappointed by yourself on that one. That game has gone through like 4 or 5 different iterations, I think. And they all seemingly turn out the same way. So I'm gonna let you enjoy that one.
High Ruler, let's be honest. There's literally never a game you'll say no to. Let's be honest.
I know, but like I already know where this one's gonna go, and like I'm gonna make the bet right now. 6 months.
6 months.
Actually, you know what? I'll go 3 months. Yeah, 3 months. That's about as long as it takes for the rest of them to die. So yeah,
3 months.
3 months.
3 months. 3 months. All 3 months. High Ruler will be playing.
Probably, yeah. Knowing me, yeah. But
he was. Fun fact: High Ruler was the only person playing Babylon's Fall on Steam.
Dude, I was trying to remember that game name.
I love that person like became a mini celebrity that month. That was so
true. That was pretty cool.
I'm surprised though. I'm the only one that's gonna say GTA 6. I'm
Really?
so excited for GTA 6. So excited. Like I don't really fuck with Assassin's Creed. I never have. And Ghost of Yotei, like I know GTA 6 is also going to be staggered on PC, like it's going to come out later, but obviously Ghost of Yotei is as well. But I need GTA 6 ASAP, can't come soon enough. I'm so excited. I'm nervous about the monetization.
You should be.
Because they bought out like the developers of 5M, right? And so they presumably want to integrate RP like officially to some extent, but everyone's nervous then that you're going to have to like buy emotes and like clothes and crap. Like it's going to be a mess. But regardless, just to even dick around in the open world, I'm so excited for GTA 6.
I think with GTA 6, I think I'm going to say this right now. The online part's going to be unplayable day one because people are just going to be spamming the fuck out of that A button or X button, whatever, to get into a session. And just their servers are just going to be on fire. I can already tell you.
I mean, you would hope it wouldn't, with all the money they're going to spend on that game. But yeah, it's usually.
We've seen
Thanks for
worse.
beta testing. I won't be there day one because I'm on PC. So have
I
fun.
I won't be online, so I don't give a fuck.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you got the campaign, right?
Yeah.
Online doesn't
doing
usually
online.
launch with it though, right?
No, online for the last one launched afterwards. It was the delayed.
But I mean, girl, that was like 12 years ago or something. Like, how long ago was that?
Yeah, but like even with Red
was
Dead
in high
Redemption
school.
2 though, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Like at least a good couple months before that game came out because they wanted to see how the story went with players, and then I guess I don't know because GTA 6 is supposed to be way bigger than GTA 5, so I wouldn't
be playing the female protagonist. So.
Like legitimately, I played GTA 5, loved it, played through the story, probably played a total of an hour worth of online content. Of that game over the last 10 years.
Online on GTA 5 is just crazy popular right now. Just
it is never appealed to me. Maybe I'm more of an old school GTA player. I'd rather I finish the campaign and then like sit in the car and listen to the radio than play online with these weirdos
driving around like you're the top G in the city.
Honestly, like there's room for that. Like GTA is one of those games where it's just like a content fountain. Like it doesn't matter what you want to do, you can do it there and you can make a channel out of it and make $1 million. Like I would love a channel that was like just like chill out vibes in GTA. Like 6 hours of lo-fi GTA sitting in the car like to relax and study to or something. Like I'm down. Just like drive around from like first person in the car with the radio playing or something. I'd watch the hell out of that. I love GTA.
I might just spin that off into a channel.
I have exactly 7 videos from Grand Theft Auto 5.
Do we actually believe though it's going to be out in 2025 though?
I think it is, but it's funny to troll GTA fans and tell them it's coming out in 2026.
I just got a gut feeling that it's going to be early 2026.
One of my GTA videos almost at 1.2 million views.
Wow. Oh my god! What's the title?
It's what happens when Franklin finds Trevor in game.
Oh.
Because I was randomly, I had like done the switch, and like they happened to be near each other. So like I went and found I was Franklin. I went and found Trevor, and Trevor just beat the shit out of him.
Not following me. You just turns around and smacks the shit out of you.
Yeah, I'll in case anybody wants to watch it later, I'll just put the link in the chat.
Yeah, hit that 1.2 million.
Yes, sir. GTA 6, I think is going to be great, but it just hasn't hit me yet because maybe because I feel like it's still farther away, but it's just kind of a known entity. Like I'm more interested in like kind of the unknowns, what could be like, because we all know GTA 6 is going to make $1 billion in like the first half hour. it's going to be good.
Before the game even comes out, just in pre-orders, I'm sure.
Yes. I'm more interested in like what potential games in 2025 could like dethrone GTA or could be something more interesting than even GTA. That's why I was looking at like something like Crimson Desert. I'm curious what superhero games they might try to squeeze in there besides Rise of Hydra.
That's right. That is coming out next year.
Yeah,
Did they say when that's coming next year?
Yeah, so far that's the only one I've heard that, and good fucking luck with this, but I've heard they want Wonder Woman to come out in 2025, but
Ooh.
that would require them to actually update the update the game with something. I don't know if they're going to make that, but I've heard that's their goal of 2025.
We've only seen concept art of the Wonder Woman game. That's it.
Yeah, I've heard someone talk about the gameplay. I've seen concept art. I heard the story description, but that's pretty much the extent of it. So,
I mean, I'm a big fan of the team behind it. Like, I love Shadow of War, Mordor.
Yeah,
but it's like, as Wonder Woman, it's like you have so much that can go right, but on the other side, you have so much that can go wrong.
On paper, this should be like a smash hit, but
oh yeah,
it's very easy to fuck up. I don't know. It just feels like a general WB has kind of wasted Monolith.
Yeah,
and especially the Nemesis system. Like I don't know how they haven't just like why would you go to trouble of just patenting it and keeping it for yourself instead of just and not just license it? Like what are you doing?
Can't wait for the Blade game. Like that got me really excited. I'm like, damn, we got Wolverine announcement not that long ago. Now we're gonna get a Blade announcement game. Like, dude, that's awesome.
And for some kids asking about,
didn't Outlaws just drop something, or were they about
Outlaws
to
is going to be dropping
like a concept art? It was like a concept art
next month, I think.
Yeah. I know they have something coming soon. I know they have a DLC coming out in 2025 as well.
They also have a big title update in November. So, yeah.
Gentlemen, just don't mean to interrupt, but I do have work tomorrow, so unfortunately, I do have to.
I think we're getting close to the end anyway, so definitely thank you for coming. No, don't be sorry.
He's Canadian. He can't help it.
Yeah, that's fair. Sorry. No, so that knows I usually by 10 o'clock I'm like checking out. So
yeah.
We go on long, for the special 100 episode.
Yeah,
had to show out. So we'll go down with the high ruler. Obviously he has a freak off to attend that he doesn't want to be late for, but
I have all my baby oil ready. I'm going slipping and sliding.
All right.
Diddy.
We appreciate every single one of you who hung out, who came on the show to bless us with your hot takes. We definitely could not have built this little community in this podcast without everyone coming in and supporting. So we definitely do appreciate that, and it's given me the motivation to keep trying to find ways to grow the podcast. I'm gonna make a concentrated effort to get more variety of guests. High ruler, Miller, always welcome, but like to occasionally get some fresh blood.
From countries other than Canada.
Yeah. Ideally. So we'll definitely see what we can do in the rest of the year and going forward, make some inquiries, see if we get some celebrity guests and everything like that, because I want you guys to have the best content possible. So thank you so much. We'll catch you guys next week, unless Jay has to attend another Illuminati event.
I am going to see Venom on Tuesday, though.
There you go.
Thank you, Sony Pictures, for that.
Thursday.
Yep. So I guess I have to decide if I'm going to watch Venom in theaters or a pirate ship. So I can talk about it on the pod. Honestly haven't decided yet after how dog shit Venom 2 was. I'm kind of on the fence, but we'll see. One way or another, I'll probably see Venom 3, but yeah, how the method is up in the air. Thank you once again, everyone. We'll catch y'all. Hopefully nothing too crazy happens. We have a nice, fun, interesting week, and America doesn't burn down at any point. Fingers crossed. I'm Sadot the Gamer.
I'm JayShockblast.
Zip it up and zip it out. Peace, and thank you for 100. 100.